Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Flat Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm FPF Hall of Famer Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so the playoffs have started in every division, obviously A through F for 6v6, all the 5v5s, obviously women's and co-ed as well. It's like the best time of the year, the most exciting time of the year, right? I mean, listen, we all sign up for the 10-game regular season, but what we really sign up for is to try to A, make the playoffs, and B, win that championship. Some teams are going to be able to do it. Some teams, unfortunately, are not. But this is why we play the game, right? This is why we work out. This is why we get together and have a lot of fun playing some ball.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's hop into it. Let's start with Division F. So technically, there's supposed to be 4 games in Division F. We'll get to the last one that didn't happen, possibly because of a forfeit later. But 3 games that did happen. We saw the number 1 seed, First Down Sniffers. They knocked off the 8th seed, and under overachievers 24-19. So close game between the 1 and the 8th seed in that contest. Just looking at the stats quickly in that game, so for the winning team, obviously for the First Down Sniffers, quarterback Matthew Couturier, 18-23, only 105 yards, but he threw for 3 touchdown passes, so that's pretty good. Big receiving day by Olivier Leto, 8 receptions, 47 yards, and 2 TDs in that game. So obviously that combination, and Couturier also ran for 59 yards and a tutty as well. So 4 touchdowns all told by the quarterback, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground, leading his team to a huge victory.
hmm Do you think it's a bit kind of concerning that they only scored 6 points in the first half, though? They had a great second half, but in the first half they only scored six.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're the number 1 seed, right? And this is the thing about playoffs, right? I mean, we talked about it a couple of times, right? Tackle and flag as well, especially. It doesn't matter what your record is in the regular season, right? It's win or go home. It's like the March Madness tournament, right? Win or go
hmm
home. You can't misstep. You can't start out. You can't have a bad day or have a bad night, if you will, bad game.
Yeah,
And First Down
exactly.
Sniffers did have that in the first half, but credit to them, right? They were down 13-6 at the half, right, to under overachievers, but credit to them, right? First Down Sniffers came back 18 points in the second half for only 6 of their opponents, hence the 24-19 W. I want to ask you, Quaysie, though. So we look at the other side, right? Under overachievers, quarterback Chris uh, Cacciatore, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Only 88 yards, 3 touchdowns, but
Yeah,
again, only 88 yards in the contest of both quarterbacks throwing for basically under 200 yards combined, which is surprising to see. But how surprised were you to see a quarterback with only 88 yards in a playoff game?
pretty surprising. But I feel like Division F, I feel like it happens. What's kind of more surprising is that no one threw any interceptions. So
Right.
sometimes you get a pick, you bring the ball back to like the 5 yard line or the 6 yard line, in between the 10 yard line, and then your team just scores. You're not able to get that many yards, but you're able to get the touchdown.
Right. Right.
Both of these quarterbacks have 0 ints, right?
Mhm.
Matthew has 105. Chris has 88 yards, right? So they both have pretty much under 110, and they both have 3 touchdowns. So it's weird to see how this game went. I'm pretty sure it went defense, maybe a lot of punting. Actually, maybe not even a lot of punting because I don't understand why their yards are so low. Even with both of them, they both rushed for 59 for Matsur and
Oh.
46 for Chris. So that's not a lot of yards either. In total, if you're putting everything together, we're at like 165 and we're at 140 between both guys. So the fact that they
Yeah.
would have had so many drives, I would assume that they would have more yards, but unfortunately, we
Well,
only see so little.
I'm looking at it right here, man. So like both teams combined for 7 trips to the red zone, 4 for First Down Sniffers and 3 for under overachievers. One of the big things though was fourth down, right? You look at it, for, over underachievers 1 for 2, so 50%. First Down Sniffers went 5 for 6. Yes, 5 for 6 on fourth down in that
Mm.
game. So
Oh yeah,
obviously, yeah, they had some gambles, and obviously they paid off.
yeah, and that also goes to effect, right? Because the time is running. So
Yeah.
if they went for that many fourth downs, that means the clock is running so much more compared to having like first down and all of a sudden you get early first and then an early touchdown, so the time is not really running. But if we have that many conversions for fourth down, it means you're losing a lot of the clock
Yeah.
on your side of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. One thing also to take note of. So both teams combined to have 6 conversion attempts. over 3 was the first down sniffers. They only went for one the entire game, 3 times over 3. And their opponents, obviously, over underachievers, going 1 for 3 on only a 1 point attempt as well. So yeah, points were definitely hard to come by in that game.
Yeah,
A
for sure.
bit of a defensive showdown, if you will,
But I
slugfest.
feel like sometimes that's what you see in playoffs. But
Yeah,
hopefully
exactly.
for
Yeah,
first
yeah,
down snifflers, they kind of have a faster start, right? Because they
yeah,
did play the lowest seed in their division. So I
yeah.
feel like if they end up playing basically maybe a better team, when you have a slow start like that, sometimes you don't have enough time to come back in the second half.
Yeah, that's it. And you know, I'll give props though to under overachievers. Listen, you're the eighth seed. Yeah, everyone's betting against you. And listen, they lost by a touchdown. They lost by
Mhm.
6 points. So I
Yeah,
mean that's pretty impressive in and of itself.
and
So sorry,
again,
actually no, 5 points actually.
yeah,
My
lost by
apologies.
5, and they're leading the half.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's it. That's it. You got to play a full game. Unfortunately, they didn't. But I mean, listen, they came out a bang up first half. This is something they could build on for next season. Let's see if they can
Yeah,
do
for
that.
sure. I feel like the loss, like it must suck, but I feel like it's a
Yeah,
good loss, because
yeah,
they could have got blown out.
definitely, definitely.
Um,
Let's jump to the next game. So a battle. I always like this matchup in the playoffs, no matter what sport it is. The 4 versus 5 seed.
yeah,
Obviously, in the
in the
NBA, yeah, it's always something huge. NFL, obviously. PSTM. So a team that was in first place most of the season, they lost a little bit down the stretch. They were bumped down to the 5th seed. They knocked off the 4 seed, and the Dolphins 27-20 in that contest. So they actually got the sweep because they beat the Dolphins in week 2 by a score of 26-20. So they did 1 point better this time around. Big W for PSTM. Anything that stands out to you in that victory for
Yeah,
PSTM?
again, both the quarterbacks threw for under 115, and then you have Devin Sandler that went for 17 for 24, 87 yards, 2 TDs,
Yeah,
2 INTs, and then Jesse Kolarkizzi.
I think it's yeah, it's Kolarchik or something. Kolarchik, anyways, yeah,
Yeah, he went for 8 for 18, 114, 3 TDs, and 1 INT. So we have again two quarterbacks that didn't pass the let's have the mark at 120. So both low scoring quarterbacks on the ball. Also, they didn't really rush. They both basically rushed him out. They rushed 9 yards. So it's weird to see that they're not these both. There's not a lot of yards being gained. It's pretty much
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of defense on both teams. And also, it's kind of weird that PSTM only scored 2 points in the second half. They scored 25 in the first half and scored two in the second half. So I guess they got a safety or maybe
yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah,
overhead snap.
yeah.
But they did get the upset, right? So at the end of the day, they were the 5th seed. They beat the 4th seed, so they got the job done. So I'm excited to see them going into the semis.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a team I've had a chance to score keep, like I said, over the season, right? A lot of their games. They're an aggressive team, especially on defense. And yeah, you're right. So it was a bad snap by the Dolphins that led to that safety. So the 2 points that PSTM got in the second half, like you said,
Mhm.
was due to a safety. My only concern about them is again, it's only 2 points in the second half, right? I mean, they got the W, so all props to them again. They were the lower seed. They were the 5th taking on the 4th seed, but you only scored 2 points in the second half. That is not a recipe for success as you advance in the playoffs. The Dolphins kind of shot themselves in the foot, right? Mistakes, hence the bad snap for the safety. They scored only 6 points in the first half, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the second, right? I mean, PSTN does have an aggressive defense, so maybe they'll be able to ride that to a championship. But you want to see something better out of their offense as they continue in the playoffs, right? 2 points in the second half is probably not going to cut it the further
Yeah,
we go.
yeah, for sure. One thing is also kind of surprising. You had Adam, sorry, pronounce his name right. You had
Malinoff?
Adam Maloff,
Yeah, Matt
Mallow
Malinoff. Yeah, yeah, he's good.
for Dolphins.
Yeah, good player.
He wasn't really a big factor, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He definitely is going to be the receiver of the year
yep,
for Division F,
yep.
and I believe his stat line. I think he scored one touchdown for
24
seven.
yards.
Yeah, 24 yards. So that also
Yeah,
goes to show that it's either he just had a bad game or they just had a good game plan to kind of get him out the picture for him
yeah,
not to go off, because that's one player right now, right? He had 20 touchdowns in 10 games. He's averaging 2 touchdowns a
yeah,
game, and he also finished with 675 yards. So the fact that you were able to eliminate a player like that to 20, I think we said 24
yeah.
yards,
24
or
yards. Yeah, four
yeah,
catches,
24
24
yards
yards. Yeah.
on 4 catches and 1 touchdown. I mean, they did a pretty good job. I feel like that's probably one of the factors why they won this game.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at that. Malinoff is a great athlete. He's a quarterback in one of the. I think he's in division. I want to say D off the top of my head. He's a dual athlete. He could catch. He could run with the ball in his hands. He could run great routes too. So it is surprising. Like you said, he's going to be the receiver of the year most likely, right? It's surprising. 24 yards. He had a touchdown, but I figured going into this matchup he'd have at least 60, maybe even 70 yards. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, yeah,
yeah,
good game plan by the PSTM defense to kind of take him out of it, and that's the Achilles heel. You for the Dolphins, you take Malinoff out. He's their best player. It is what it is. Someone else has to step up, and unfortunately, no one really did for the
yeah.
Dolphins. All
Fortunate
right.
for them.
Yep.
So let's go to the next game
Sure.
that happened. That was Gamblers versus Rosemere Rhino Pills.
Yeah.
So again, we have
Yeah.
the third seed versus the sixth seed.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Gamblers they took a gamble and it didn't go well because their quarterback went 8 for 19 for 47 yards and 3 TDs.
Yeah,
He
it's not
scored.
good.
He basically so he
Oof.
threw 40, which is also a crazy stat line. If you actually look at it, it's pretty crazy. And no ints. You would assume when you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
day like this, you would probably maybe score. Maybe I feel like a stat line where I would see if I see 8 for 19 for 47 yards, 3 TDs, and at least 3 ints. Like something around those lines to make it a bit basic.
Yeah.
And then again, top receiving yards, they kind of went one guy. It was Massimo that went for 6 for 11, 52, and 3 TDs. And then they had Alex that went for 2 for 4 for 12 yards. So literally, no one was really catching the ball as much there.
So so I will say for so again, it is a surprise, like you're saying. Yeah, the quarterback, yeah, Chris Toroyan, 8 or 19. Like you say, yeah, almost half his passes went for a touchdown, but when you complete only 8 passes, that's not great. I will say though, this team was missing who I think is their best player. Kind of a weapon, a guy I expect to be playing in higher division soon. I'm trying to recruit him onto my team. Matthew Antonios. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he's a stud. I don't know if you've had a chance to see him play. I'll give credit to Mo. Mo Khan told me about him when I was scorekeeping at Connu about a month ago, a month and a half almost. And I saw him play and said, "Yo, look at this kid. He could run, he could catch, he could play some defense." Ended up having 550 yards and 12 touchdowns, right, on 31 catches for the year
Okay. So
offensively, right, and defensively he had 9 ints, uh, 9 ints. 4 of them he brought back to the house, 2 sacks, 7 pass deflections. Again, this is a guy that should be playing a higher division. He wasn't there in this
yeah, so
game. That's
that's
huge.
a big loss for them because it seems like that
Yeah,
was a go to guy
both
for the
sides of the ball.
Gamblers. And the fact that he was not there does not help their situation. I feel like that kind of makes sense for the
Makes a bit
stat
more sense. Yeah,
line.
and I mean, like, again, like
Like
I told you before we
you have
started this
your
episode.
top receiver and he's not there anymore, and you're kind of just trying to find other guys. Yeah, the whole year he was there, right? He played 10 games,
Yeah, exactly,
550
exactly.
yards, 12 touchdowns. So it just goes to show when you don't have that number one guy anymore with you, it's you're going to number two, and then number
Yeah,
two becomes number three. It could become a shit show, and you kind
it's
of
true.
see that was.
And I
Um,
think also, like, again, before we started the episode, before we went to air here, like we were talking, right, and I told you I had a chance to see them against PSTM. They beat the brakes off of PSTM. They smoked these guys back in week 9, so that was like July 17th, so just under a month ago, like 62-28. Like they smoked these guys, and I was like, I came away thinking, yeah, the Gamblers are like a really serious team. I had seen them a little bit here and there, but after
mm,
that game, I was thinking to myself, these guys can make a run, and some of them, like, they weren't cocky, they were just confident. They're like, yeah, like we're a good team, and you should watch us more, and like we can make a run here. And I started to believe them because I saw that score, right, and then even the week after that, they beat up on the Dolphins in week 10, 25-6. So I was like,
okay,
all right, I was a believer in the Gamblers, but again, they just couldn't get it done against the Rosemary Rhino Pills. Props to them though. Props to the Rosemary Rhino Pills for
yeah,
getting the big W in that
yeah.
game because honestly, I thought it wasn't gonna happen.
At the end of the day, what happens if you're missing a player. It's as we said, like next guy up, right? Sometimes you
Yep.
can't afford to lean on one player for the whole year, and then when it comes to playoffs, he's not there. It's kind of like, okay, guys, we're screwed. You kind of it's a team sport, team game. So you kind of have to think of another plan when something like that doesn't happen. And unfortunately for Rosemary Rhinos, like they could have had a bad game, but they took advantage of the situation.
True.
William
Yep.
Lazard went for 18 for 23, 213 yards, 5 TDs, one INT, but he got the job done for his guys. We also see a handful of speed this game, and then Rosemere Rhinos kind of just took care of the second half, and they beat them
Yeah.
21-6, and then
Yeah,
they
that's
ended
it.
up winning
That's
by
it.
15. So
So it's gonna be
congrats
interesting
to
now.
them. I believe
Yeah.
it's their first year or two for this team. So yeah, it makes sense. They're Division F, so for they must feel good to have their first playoff win. For I'm sure for a lot of these players.
Yeah. Yeah, congrats indeed. I mean, again, they were the sixth seed, Gamblers were the third seed, so that's an upset right there. So it's interesting now. You look at the landscape in Division F now, right? So first down Sniffers, they advance, the number one seed. Dolphins, the number four seed are out. Number three seed Gamblers are out. PSTM, number five seeds alive. Rosemary Rhinos, we just talked about. Number six seeds alive. Um, so a lot of the underdogs kind of advancing. One game that didn't happen. Now I'm trying to get word right now. I reached out to Mo and Ben. Mo said it was most likely a forfeit, like you're even saying yourself, right?
Mhm.
Before we went to air, and we're talking about the matchup between the number seven seed, the Maggots, against the number two seed, the Jamaican bobsled team. I cannot confirm that when I was in Jamaica that I saw the Jamaican bobsled team there. I mean, so I don't think they forfeited their game. If they did, though, I would completely understand. But yeah, I'm just looking at what Mo said now, and yeah, he said yeah, there's a forfeit. Can't confirm by who. We're
I'm,
thinking though it was the Maggots.
yeah, I'm gonna assume it's the maggots. So I'm gonna assume the maggots forfeited. I don't think the like we never know, but I'm going to assume, and if it's the other team, then my apologies. But I'm gonna assume that the maggots forfeited. So we're gonna have first down Stiflers, Jamaican bobsled team, PS PSTM, and
Yep.
Rosemere Rhinos. So we're gonna have the one seed, the two seed, the fifth seed, and the sixth seed. So you'll have the one versus the six, and then you have the two versus the five going into the semifinals. Yeah,
Yep.
semifinals.
Yep. Hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting, and I guess we're gonna have to. I
Definitely.
forgot. Actually, I don't even know when they play. To be honest with
Yeah,
you.
that's in the schedule's not up, so I mean,
So
hopefully not before our next
yeah.
podcast.
So when those games they're played, well, I guess we're gonna see who wins, and we're gonna be able to talk about it.
There you go. All right, let's hop over to Division E.
So
So looking at the E here. Um, so four games took place this past Monday. All I Mary Victorin.
yeah,
Studs 2 beat TD Blitz 36-31. That's definitely a shootout in that game. The Demons, my buddy Neil Wright, his team, they knocked off Blue Mountain State 26-19. Texas Wales, I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at this one. They beat the Emperors Retrote, so the retired Emperors. They beat them 21-0. So not only am I surprised that the Texas Wales won that game, I'm also
yeah,
surprised they pitched a shutout. That's
yeah,
pretty impressive. And Take Up Squad knocking off Sourpuss 39-24. So yeah, two lopsided games and two close ones.
yeah. Also, something to also say, right? Because this is pretty much I think it's the biggest division that we have this year with the 27 teams. We do four teams do get a bye, right? So
Yep,
sophomore,
yep,
reborn,
yep.
Richard,
Oh,
and Gold
Richter,
Rush
Richter, yeah, Richter. You're good.
all
I like that
received
team.
a first round bye. So that's the reason
Yep.
why. If anyone's curious why the top seeds did not play, that's the reason why they all received. Or maybe it wasn't more. Am I crazy? I think it's
No,
four.
well, sophomore XL, they
Oh
finished.
no, sorry.
Congrats to them.
Actually,
They were 10-0.
it's 12 teams that receive a bye. I'm crazy. It's 12 teams that receive a bye. So you have the top 12
So
teams that
it's,
receive a bye, and then you go
yeah,
13 versus 20,
yeah,
14 versus 19. Okay, so
exactly, exactly,
so
exactly.
those are the teams. So sorry, my apologies, but we have 12 teams that
No
got by.
worries.
I'm not gonna say all the teams, but
Well, okay, I'll say the first place team, sophomore XL, because they finished the season 10-0. Congrats to them. Let's see if they could keep that path to profession alive. So I'm interested. I like this division line. We talked about it a lot. Like Richter, like you talked about, Gold Rush, Reborn Prospects, right? 9-1, 8-2, 8-2. Even Ben don't break 7-3, right? Along with Air University and Chomedy Chos and Head Tops only. A lot of good teams in this division. I think sophomore XL is going to be able to run the table, but we'll have to wait and see. But like you said, out of the 20 teams that made the playoffs, 12 got the first round bye, hence why we had the matchups we did. I'm just looking right now at the Studs game, Studs 2, pardon me, against TD Blitz. I got to give some props, man. I got to give some props to Pierre Olivier, Bolin Lefebvre, pardon me, 18 to 26, 5 touchdown passes in that game, man. Like he balled. He came out and he handled his business. The defense, they were able to get 2 interceptions. I've seen TD Bliss play. I honestly thought TD Bliss was gonna get the W here. I like the quarterback Alex O'Neal. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's good on both sides of the ball. He's a good receiver when he plays co-ed. Avery, I don't know if you know Avery Kilmass. He's played in the higher divisions as well. Climates, pardon me. Avery Climates, Elijah Dupuis, a kid. I remember he played on I think one of the Quebec U18 teams last year, and now he's playing with the adults, and he's balling out. Stanley Williams as well. They have some playmakers on this team. I honestly thought that TD Blitz would get the W here, but props to Studs too. They proved me wrong. And that was a battle. Looking at it here, that's a battle of Studs two were the 13 seed, and now TD Blitz they snuck into the playoffs. They were the last seed, the 20th seed. So again, TD Blitz almost pulled it off, but just fell a little bit short. I was looking at it here. What else? I was waiting for Quaysie to come back on. So yeah, then it's Studs again. Studs 2 with the victory over TD Bliss, 36-31. So looking at the other games that took place, so we also have Blue Mountain State again falling to the Demons by a score of 26-19. So the Demons was a 19 seed coming into the playoffs. So that's a bit of an upset, obviously, in Blue Mountain State, the 14 seed in that matchup, right? So an upset right there. So congrats to the Demons. Give it a stats here quickly in that contest. So Neil Wright, again, he's been a guest on the show, buddy of mine. He went 50%. He completed 11 of 21 passes for 141 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. Zayden Kongyu, again, a guy I've talked about plenty of players throughout this league, guys kind of on the up and on the rise. 2 TD passes. Jeremy Method Pizzi, 2 TD catches, I should say. Method Pizzi, 2 TD catches as well. So congrats to those boys on getting the job done for their squad. Caleb Williams, quarterback for Blue Mountain State, went 20 of 35, 178 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 INT. The problem in this game for Blue Mountain State is they were asleep at the wheel in the first half. They were down 13-0 at the break, and they responded. They outscored Demons 19-13 in the second half. But you have to play a full game, especially come the postseason, right? You have to play a full game. Blue Mountain State didn't, and that's why they're at home for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they scored 0 points the first half, and they scored 19 the second half. It's like it's a crazy switch there. And I think we were talking at the beginning, right? We are kind of saying what teams that we liked, and Blue Mountain State was definitely one of the teams I did like because the name that they had.
100%.
It's unfortunately that they didn't get past the second round, especially with the second half that they end up having.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, again, like I can tell you from first-hand experience. My team didn't show up in the first half of our game on Monday night. We showed up in the second. We all play Jagger Bomb, but it is what it is, right? You got to play a full game. You
Mm-hmm.
can't shoot yourself in the foot with dumb mistakes, and you have to play a full game. It's football 101, no matter what level or what style of ball you want to play.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So yeah, going to that blowout. I'm surprised. 21-0. Texas Wales knocking off Emperors Retete. So a bunch of guys from the McGill Redbirds football team. I don't think they played. I'm looking at it here. No, they did not play in the regular season. But again, looking at this game here, so there's no stats. So it just says 21-0. So
Yeah.
what I'm thinking happened is probably a forfeit then by Emperors Retete instead of the 60-0 final.
But wouldn't it be 30? I think usually forfeits are
It's
30
usually
0.
30 or 60, one or the other.
So
Yeah, I don't
here
know.
there it's 21. Again,
Oh,
mystery that we're probably
yeah.
gonna have to find out about. But
Either way, Texas
as
Wales advance.
yeah, exactly. That's something that we know that they do
Yeah.
advance.
All right, and let's go to the final matchup here of
Yeah, that's
E.
gonna be Sourpuss versus Takeoff and
Yep,
Takeoff Squad. And Takeoff Squad took that game 39-24. So we have a little slight
yep.
upset there.
So
Um,
this surprised me. This is another one of those surprising games. I'm looking at it right here. So Paul Baudouin, the quarterback for Takeoff Squad, 5 TD passes, which is good, but he had like 3 INTs,
yeah, exactly.
and he still put up pretty much like 40 points almost.
Yeah,
And
but also take
yeah,
this in. Nicholas Emmanuel Pi went 7 for 23
yeah,
for
yeah.
152 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 ITs. If you think about it, he completed seven passes, for 150 yards. So that 152 yards. So he's kind of averaging like 25 yards a pass. Like he does have guys with less like that, but like from the average rate, if you put it together, which is kind of insane too, that you threw 7 passes for 152 yards. I'm assuming the first
Yeah.
half and the second half was kind of just a scorekeeper error where you don't click on the second half button, because I would be kind of surprised if one team scored 39, another team scored 44, and they both scored zero second half. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's something around those lines.
I,
But again, shout out to Takeoff Squad. Scoring 39 points is a big statement, especially when you were the lower seed going into this game.
I'm looking at it right now. For quarterback Ludovic Belair Dubois, his first pass of the game was a pick six. Then he had a run for 3 yards. He had a pass for three, turnover on downs. I'm trying to get you all seven completions right here. He had a 40-yard TD pass. Sorry, so
Yeah, but Ludovic is not the
yeah, Ludovic's
quarterback.
another quarterback. Yeah, so
Maybe
my
they
okay,
did
so
maybe a
yeah.
trick play or something.
So
Regarding
so yeah, sorry, Emmanuel. So Nicola Emmanuel Pierre, my bad. He must have came late to the game because so his first, well, not his first series. So his third pass of the game, I believe, that was a 40-yard touchdown to Eric Corelli. So it's a 40-yard TD. He had a 6-yard pass to Ludovic Belair Dubois, a bunch of incompletions, a a run. Yeah. Sorry, a 3-yard pass. He had a 37-yard touchdown pass, then an interception. Yeah, the whole point is here. Yeah, 7 passes, like you said. I'm just like another a 40-yard. So he had basically two 40-yard touchdowns,
yeah,
one 37-yard touchdown, and then
yeah.
a couple of dink and dunk completions here and there. That's not bad actually.
No, it's not. It's technically it's not a bad stat line at all. Um,
Wow.
those little
I
small
mean,
incompletes like he did have though, because he went 7 for 22, like that doesn't help, but
yeah.
still a good average for the.
If he could even complete, I want to say this right now, like if he can complete, I say half of his passes. So if he can go, let's say he threw 24 passes. So I don't know. Let's say if he completed like let's say 11 of them, so let's say it's 22. So if he completed 11 of those passes, there's a good chance his team might have won the game. Considering that the touchdown rate that he had, his team
Yeah,
probably would have
exactly.
won that game. But anyways, it is what it is. Congrats to Takeoff Squad, Sourpuss. Quarterback needs to get there on time, and then he needs to protect the ball. But again, something to build on for the future for this team.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
All right.
let's go Division D.
Yes, sir.
So Division D, we actually had 8 games played.
Yep.
So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 18 minus 4. So I think no, there's more than teams there. I think there's 12 teams that got buys as well in this division. I think this is a big division
So
too.
it's yeah. So again, 20 teams make the playoffs, and yeah, 12 teams get a bye
Yeah,
in
so
in
12. Yeah,
Div D.
exactly. So then we had we would have the 20 seed versus 13, and then
Yep.
going on.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna open
So there's another. I don't know if it's a forfeit or whatever, but Trinity and Violings. That's a game I was looking forward to. That never happened. At least according to the website here. A couple games that did. All the games except for one were close, right? Like Born Ready knocking off the Boys Are Back, 2018. Team Ethnic, a veteran team, knocking off the Super Turbo Navettes in a really entertaining game, 41-38. So obviously that went down to the wire, and then the one below out Nighthawks. So congrats to the Nighthawks. They later beat down a Nut and Run by a score of 41-19. So some big performances. I want to actually start with that blowout game right here. So the Nighthawks, this is a team I've seen multiple times over the last couple of years, scorekeeping. Fabrice Robillard. So this is a guy that started at receiver, tall. He's lanky. He kind of like, you throw him 5 or 6 passes, he drop one or two, but then he dropped the easy ones, but then make the tough catches. And he's a guy, Ivan Solomon. I think you might know him. He plays in the higher divisions now as well, a little bit here and there. With never overtime, I believe in Division B. I want to say they got some playmakers on this team, man. They got some playmakers, and this is a team that struggled to put together anything resembling like good football earlier, a couple seasons ago. So now they're looking to turn it around and a big victory. I'm looking at a nut and run, right? Like Vince Maule, Devin Daoud. They have a lot of veterans on the squad.
yeah.
Surprised it was a blowout.
Yeah, it's kind of the fact that it's 41 to 12, 41 to 19. It is a big dramatic
Yeah.
blow, but it takes a few plays where you guys are not in sync. The other team kind of takes advantage, and by the time you look at it, they're kind of going off again. You see it first half 13-13, the second half Nighthawks kind of just took it.
28-6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of took
Jeez.
over
Wow.
control, and it seems None Run weren't able to keep up, and they only scored 6 points in the second half, right? And then you can see kind of difference. Devin Daou went 12 for 27, 112 yards, 3 TDs, 1 INT, where Fabrids Robillard went 22 for 28 for 214 for 6 TDs, 1 INT. So you kind of doubled the yards. So you kind of can see the second half that he had and the second half that Devin Daou had.
Yeah, yeah, but that's it. That's it exactly. So I'm looking at the Born Ready victory over the Boys Are Back. I'm a bit surprised with that one. I've seen Born Ready. I talked about them a few weeks ago. They have green jerseys. There's athletes all over the place and some veterans like Dan Dick. They got so James Tyrell's brother Kyle. So Kyle's on the team. He actually had 4 passes thrown his way, didn't catch any, but Dan Dick's a veteran. Chris Williams, Brandon Perron, like they have some players on the team. Their quarterback Shaq Daguilar, he's a dual threat. I've seen him play a little bit. He's not bad at all. He's not
Yeah.
bad at all as
I,
a quarterback.
I think it's his cousin, right? Kyle Tyrell. I think it's his
Okay, maybe
cousin.
it's probably cousin. My apologies. Yeah, cousin. I've seen Kyle play like some higher divisions before, and like kind of a spot player here and there. He's not permanently, but like he's subbed in higher divisions and he's able to make an impact. But yeah,
Yeah, but um, yeah, this team it's born ready. They're good though.
yeah,
I actually seen them play as well. I don't know, their quarterback is because they had Bobby. Bobby threw a bit, and then they had Shaquille.
yeah. Bobby, I think's been hurt though for a while. I've seen him at games. He hasn't played in a little bit. Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The last time I saw them, last time I saw he didn't throw. So
yeah.
I guess
Same, same.
he's on the sideline right now. But Shaquille he got it done. 15 for 27, 203 yards, 3 TDs, 2 INTs.
Yeah,
Dan Dick, I think Dan Dick's been in this league
yeah.
for a
He's a
while,
veteran. Yeah, yeah. He's a
right?
vet.
Yeah,
He's a vet.
he used to play for yeah, exactly VPC in
Yep.
2009.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show it's been
Still keep
it's
playing,
been
man.
14 years, and he's still here. He had
Yeah,
a huge impact in this game. He went four catches, 76 yards, and 1 TD.
yeah,
So he did his veteran job, and I'm sure those yards and that touchdown was one of the reasons why they got that win. Also, a
yeah.
good
Definitely.
start. Also, a bad start for the Boys Are Back. Right? There's so many teams here, right? Um, 0 points the first half, 18 the second half.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just goes to slow. It goes to show sometimes when you play a good team, where if you have a slow start and you don't score any points, it's hard for you to come back and win the game, right? So I think
That's
this is
it.
one of the examples where if they're able to score a narrow touchdown in the first half, maybe the game would have ended 24-20 instead of them losing 18-20.
That's it. And for Born and Ready, right? I mean, they weren't much better in the first half. They scored 7 points, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's 7 points.
they scored something. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the difference.
exactly.
I hear you. I'm surprised. I don't know. I want to get your take on this. Like the boys are back. Like Kyle Pedvis, the solid quarterback. And look at his receivers. Like Tim Horner, one of the best underrated players in all of FPF. Dylan Cotillier, right? He's a veteran as well. Tanner Burrell, right, from Silent Ticklers. He's on this team.
Mm.
Varane Patel, guys that have played for a while, and guys who have a good skill set. Like I'm just surprised that they no showed that first half. They scored 18 in the second half. That's great, but just like if you would have told me going into this match of who would I pick to win, I actually would have picked the boys are back. To be honest with you, I'm a bit surprised
Okay.
they lost in this contest.
Yeah, especially with the veteran guys they have. The fact you guys scoring 0 points too, and you have a guy named Homer.
Horner,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
again no weird for him to be playing in this division for a type of player like that. But it's to a point where you could throw this guy a 40-yard bomb, you could throw him a jump ball, and he should come down to it a lot of the time. So
yeah,
the
that's
fact that
it.
they scored, I'm assuming I guess the second half that's the reason kind of how things kind of change. But again, nothing done in the first half. I think he's also, I want to say he won. Okay, no.
And it's
Okay.
it's I'm also just a little surprised because like they met in the regular season and the boys are back. They won actually 34-32, so another close game. But again, I'm just surprised the 0 in the first half. Yeah, it
Mhm.
happens.
No, for sure.
As we've seen, no, it happens, right? Some of
Yeah.
these playoff games, yeah, you got to play a full game.
Yes.
Um, so the last game we wanted to talk about. Look at the schedule here. Yeah, so the Super Turbo Navets and Team Ethnic, yeah, 41-38. I'm not surprised. Both these teams can get up and down the field. Both these teams can score. Benoit Lawler, veteran. Speaking of veterans, 6 touchdown passes, 235 yards. Rafael Caron, I've seen this guy play a lot this season. 250 yards, basically, 5 TDs in the game. Charles Grenier, 5 catches, 96 yards, 4 trips to the end zone. That's definitely impressive. For the other side, Backley Charles, so a guy who's been playing with Lawler for a long time, and David DeAndre. So Charles had 2 touchdowns. Anselo Morelatos, a guy I know as well, 2 touchdowns in that game. 3 sacks. So Alain Keb, I've seen this guy. He's one of the most vocal rushers in FPF. He's a fun guy though. He had 3 sacks in that contest, so that's huge. Just trying to see how this game ended right here. So basically, yeah, Charles Grenier for the Super Turo Navets, part of me, got a 28-yard touchdown to get them closer to within a couple points. But then they tried. So it says here that there's a penalty on Backley Charles for 10 yards, and then there was a sack. Caron got sacked on the last play of the game. I'm imagining right here, based off of the score, again, it's a 3-point game. I'm imagining the Super Turbo Naves went for the onside kick because
Yeah.
that's the only thing that can make sense here. Why there would be a sack, because you can't go for a 3-point conversion, obviously. So we'd have to go for a two. So I'm just trying to go through the stats here. I don't think there's any other onside kick attempts. No, there was not. So yeah, so it must have been a sack on the onside kick attempt, but either by scorekeeper, but it's okay. But again, congrats to Team Ethnic getting a huge W and advancing. And the Super Turbo Naves, again, this is a team I remember when they first broke into the league, they were horrible. It is what it is. I'm not trying to. I'm not. I'm not lying about anything. They were probably the first to say it too. They've gotten better though. Credit to these guys. They've gotten better every season. Rafael Carroll seems to be their quarterback. Hopefully they stick with him and keep on building around him, because this is a team in Div D. They moved up from the lower divisions. Like they could be a force to be reckoned with in the future.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. But also shout out to Team Ethic, right? They're also it's a veteran team.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of players have been together for a while, so
Yep.
uh, kudos to them because remember they were the lower seed going into this, even though I think
It's
it was
true.
I think it was 16. 17. I'm not sure exactly sure, but they were the lower seed, so they got the upset done. They got the job done, and now they're gonna have to go into the quarterfinals and see if they can have some more magic and have their offense score as many points as they did last week.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, listen, if that's the thing, right? As we know in FPF, right? If you can get a stop, chances are, especially in higher divisions, but no matter what division, if you can get one, even 2 stops, you're doing something right. You're definitely doing
Yeah,
something right. Looking at it right now, so Team Ethnic, they go on to face now. Ooh, Rick and Marty.
yeah,
Ooh, that's gonna be
yeah.
so.
So yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
these a lot of these teams where you have the upset. So we had Born Ready that got the upset. Team Ethic got the upset. We're not sure about Trinity and Veer Linux. I'm not sure about that. I think actually Veer Linux is the no, never mind. I was gonna say they're players from Lennox, from
from
uh,
Le Verge Fall.
yeah, no, Veer
Yeah.
Lennox. I think it's previous players I used to play for Lennox, not Lennoxville, Edmond Mopetsi.
Okay,
Uh,
that's possible.
yeah, I think I
It's
think I
possible.
think
Yeah.
it's that, or maybe current players. I think that's where they got the name from. I have to. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely some of the players. So maybe
So
they couldn't play the game or some weird thing like that. But
we'll
all
find out.
those teams, yeah, for sure. All those teams that did have those upsets, they got the upset, but the schedule doesn't get easier, right? It's getting literally it gets harder, and you kind of see it for some of these teams, right? Born Ready,
Yeah.
they get the upset versus the boys are back, and then they end up playing Snowdell Degens that are the number one seed. So it's like
Yeah.
congratulations, and now you're gonna play versus higher a better team.
Yeah. That's it.
So
That's it.
but,
That's it.
but again, it's good for at least you got the win. You know, you get that extra game. because remember
Yep.
playoffs is not it's not given for some of these divisions, right? You kind of have to
Mhm.
earn it, and then you get those
Yep.
extra you get to play. So you get to see another day. We have the divisional playoffs on Thursday, so it's going to be tonight actually. In
Yeah. So,
no, yeah,
yeah. Tonight. Tonight's Thursday.
tomorrow.
No, today's
Yeah,
Thursday.
tonight is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So August 7th. I didn't know there was that many games in Laval tonight. Oh, okay.
It's a bit surprising. I mean, so it's gonna be interesting. So we have the Snowy Deli Deacons, Rick and Marty, practice squad three, Uncle Rico's Riders, another veteran team, Wonder Niners, Glow Gang, Ball Hawks, Brothermen, Super Troopers, Rum and Cokes of Ben's team as well,
Yeah,
right? So FBIFC, so that kind of knockoff, I guess you could say, of Sophomore Excel. Not a knockoff, but they're kind of second team, I guess you could say.
yeah,
The studs as well, right? So all those top 12 teams getting a bye. They're in action tonight. So good luck to all those teams looking to advance here tonight. Should be good.
yeah.
Should really be good. Are the Snowy Della Deacons the true number one seed here? We're gonna find out, right?
Hmm.
They're taking on Born Ready. Pardon me. I'm actually really looking forward to that game. Born Ready and Snowden Deli
Yeah,
Deacons. That should be a shootout.
that should be a good matchup.
Hundred
Should
percent.
be.
100%.
All right, let's go into Division C.
All right.
From what I remember, I'm pretty sure the top four teams do get a bye in
Yep.
Division
Yep.
C.
Top four got the bye.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. You should know that because it's your
Yep.
division. All right, so let's talk about your game, Jugger Bomb.
Oh God.
Jump in. Let's jump in. Jugger Bomb
God.
versus Commission.
All right. So again, as I said, when you're playing any type of ball, you got to play a full game. Um, I'm not gonna make any excuses. I respect Jagerbomb. I've played against these guys a ton of times.
Yeah,
It's
remember,
weird. Like,
sorry,
sorry.
yeah. Continue.
No,
Go.
go,
Yeah,
go.
Jagerbomb is a veteran team, right? They've been so yeah, Simon Dejeuner. He's been in this league for a while, and then you have Jean Felix Delison.
Yeah, Daniel
Um,
Lewis is good. Yep, they could
um,
play. There's the rushers, Jeremy Petri Lavoie, Kevin Marcel.
yeah,
Yeah,
they have
Nicole Gaga. Yeah,
some
there's
of
a
their
lot of
core guys
veterans.
that they had when back in the day whenever I was playing for them. So it's a good team, to go again. But explain, yeah. So continue going. You were saying.
No, I was gonna say again, no, it's a veteran team. So I've played these guys in a lot of huge games. Lately, to their credit, it is one sided. They beat us in the regular season. They beat us obviously on Monday night. I remember the first couple years playing them. We had a championship run. I remember knocking these guys out of the playoffs, and then we had a game in the semifinals a couple years ago. It was BS call by JS Beausoleil, a former official. Call my guy Zach on an offside. He was not offside at all, but whatever. It is what it is. They got the win. They played the Alpha T's. Alpha T's smashed them in the finals. Still think we would have beat the Alpha T's. Shout out to Jesse Dupree and those guys, but we would have beat them. We had AJ, we had some dollars on the team. But it is what it is. We played them on Monday night. Mary Vic. Listen, um, they came out firing. We made too many mistakes. We crapped the bed in the first half. Look at the score at the half. It was 19-6.
Hmm.
Literally, so I'll take you to the final five plays of the first half. They score a touchdown. We get the ball back. We cut the field in half on like I think two plays, and we throw a ball to the end zone. So our main guy Sam, I'm horrible with his last name. I should know by now since he's on my team. Anastolopoulos, Anastos, wow,
Yeah.
Anastolopoulos. He gets to the 1 yard line and extends the ball past the goal line before getting deflagged, and the referee says, "No, you're down at the one." And the referee, I'm not going to throw him under the bus, a buddy of mine, Andrew Hallowack, that was a horrible call. It is what it is. It's simply a horrible call. Even the people in the stands who were with Jagerbomb, one or two of them, I could see their faces from where I was standing. They were surprised that it wasn't called a touchdown. Like it was just, I'm not sure what he saw. And he's a quality official. He's a great guy and a quality
Yeah.
official.
Exactly. Yeah.
He didn't have the greatest angle, and he was actually on the opposite sideline. The call should have been to the official on the right hand side of the field because it was the right hand side of the end zone. I I'm not even gonna throw this guy under the bus. He just stood there looking dazed and confused. It is what it is. I'm not gonna say who it is. Referee, whatever. That's not why we lost the game. So I'm not. I want to clarify that we just made too many mistakes in the first half. Our first play of the game, we threw an INT. We dropped literally about four touchdown passes in that game. Our tackling got better in the second half. You can see in the second half, we all scored them in the second half, 26-25.
Yeah.
But just that no show in the first half of drops. bad throws, forced throws, blown coverages. Our defense, and I'm the first one to say it. And I told my defense this at halftime. I go, we're playing too soft, and I'm not the only one on my team that said that. Our whole season, our defense, which has usually been the focal point of the teams I try to build, because you have to stop people to win, and you know that you're an elite
Yeah,
player on defense. You have to stop people no matter what division you're playing in. Our
yeah,
defense is
especially.
soft as tissue the whole year.
Hmm.
It is what it is. No, so you're
Um,
gonna say especially what you were gonna say something?
no, I was gonna say, especially in playoffs, you gotta. That's where
Yeah,
you
you
gotta.
have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
to
We
that
had
point,
the
playtime is over. Right? You could have kind of sometimes during the regular season. Okay, guys, we're kind of soft there. It doesn't matter, as much as long as you guys get into the playoffs, you're in. But when it comes playoff time, you gotta be rock and roll. You gotta be rock and loaded and ready to make. Not too handsy, but
you
don't
gotta
just
you
kind
gotta
of
get physical. You
yeah.
have to
Don't
be
just
physical.
don't just stand there.
That's what I'm saying. And I'll be honest with you. And you could ask anybody on my team. Like you could ask Sam if you see him. Any of these guys. Keon. Like I'm like I don't care if you guys get penalties. If you have to go through someone to get the ball, I don't care. From tackle to flag, I will live with that all day and twice on Sundays. Any day of the week and twice on Saturdays and 8 times on Sundays. If you get a PI, I don't give a crap at all. That
Yeah.
shows me you're being aggressive.
Yeah, it
But if you're
means
just yeah,
yeah, exactly. Trust me, you should see me in my huddle sometimes. It's a good thing they don't mic me up because the stuff that I say, you be like,
yeah, yeah. I trust me. I hear you. Trust me. I hear you on that, man. We try to make it a PG show here, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think we can't have the mics, man, because it was just like I try to. I'm getting older, so I try not to. I think of young Brent, especially playing tackle.
mm,
I would let into every, even if I made a mistake, I let into myself. Even when I started playing flag, same thing. I would light your ass up if you're not playing up the par, especially if I know you can, and
yeah,
you're just like you're playing soft or whatever, and it's just I had to stop myself a little bit on Monday. And to the credit of my guys, second half we came through. We were the more aggressive team. We scored. We got an onside. We got the onside. We got scored a touchdown. It's just again too many mistakes in the first half, and to let a good team like that off the hook as many times as we did, we can't let that happen. And unfortunately, we did, and that's why we lost.
yeah. Especially the fact that remember it seems like he had a really good game, and if you're not really putting that much pressure on him and getting hands on a
Yeah.
lot of his receivers, it's kind of the reason why a quarterback could go 22 for 28 for 240 yards and 6 TDs.
And so you know what? So even for Simon the Chez, uh, some of his Zachary Obersgill, my rusher, that he was getting pressure on him, and some of the throws like he was throwing off his back foot. We dropped a for sure pick six in the second half, and like some of those. To the receiver's credit, some of the catches they were making on the sideline, like the toe drag swag, right?
Yeah,
They were getting what's one or some cases two toes down and just making the tough catches. They made the tough catches that we unfortunately dropped a lot because again we had some guy their defense is not that good. Bomb, it is what it is. We were getting guys open deep a lot, and either the quarterback would overthrow them or guys would just drop the pass, and it was just you can't have a combination of both, right? You're
yeah.
not going to win.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, enough about my team.
So let's go to Coldest versus Bandits that also happened 2 hours before you guys. So you have Coldest blowing out Bandits 43-6.
That's no surprise.
Yeah, exactly. So you have Samuel
A mumble, yeah,
Obamba,
a mumble, yeah. He's
aka
legit.
Gucci. So he actually
Yeah,
was hurt
exactly.
for a bit. It seems like so he's
Yeah,
back
yeah,
now.
yep.
I think you also have Jean Slee on this team too, which is kind of insane. I don't
So
see him on.
not I don't think he qualified. I think he subbed a couple of games, but he didn't qualify for the playoffs. I don't
Okay,
think.
you didn't qualify for playoffs. Okay,
Yeah.
but again, you have Samuel, aka Gucci.
Hmm.
He goes on a tear right now. 12 for 19, 214 yards, 214 yards, 5 TDs. I think he actually broke his hand, so he hasn't played.
Yeah,
He didn't play
yeah, his
for
hand or finger or something. Yeah, yeah.
a few games. So there's not. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. Their defense played well. They held Simo Gaillard,
Simon
Giard.
Gerard and Emil
Uh,
Scaff, five INTs between the both of them. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna win.
exactly. So they did their
Yeah.
job. They were the better team going into this. So welcome back, Gucci. Good luck into the quarterfinals, and I guess we go to the next game.
I just want to say one thing about this game. So again, I'm saying I'm not surprised. It is what I play the Bandits. They we took them to the we beat them. We were playing like crap in the first half again. We play my team only plays a half most of the time.
Hmm.
Although to our credit, down the stretch against LeBron Charles, we almost knocked them off, and then we did beat Sugar Daddies. It's weird. My team, we beat almost all the higher seeds we faced, but then we lost some of the lower seeds. That's ball sometimes. But yeah, so let's talk about Mambo for a second. So this was his first game since like week 4. Like he hasn't
Mhm.
played since June 9th. So that's pretty impressive. Again, 12 of 19, 214 yards, 5 TDs. Yeah, the Bandits has some players, man. I can't say that they're not bums at all. They're usually a lower division team. They're coming up to Division C this year for the first time. They have some guys on the team that can ball, right? Morelatos, Cedric Gingra Dubé. They just it's Jerry Brabo. Shout out to him. It's just a mismatch of like a team with like phenomenal athletes up and down the lineup versus a team
Yeah.
who just just isn't as good. Like they have some athletes, but not the
Yeah,
level of
especially
boldness.
when the quarterback's playing good too. That's probably one of the scariest things is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sometimes when you have a bunch of athletes, you have a bad quarterback. So it kind of balances each other. When if Gucci's throwing the ball good and he's getting the right read and he's actually dishing it out here and there, it's hard to be that many athletes plus the good quarterback. That's why people kind of like, so how, like, so if someone is
true.
even also wondering how's this team in this division, most of the time you have a bunch of guys that are not that that don't play that well together, and then you have a quarterback struggles where the guy's kind of like more runner, and when they end up playing versus a team that has a good rusher, that it doesn't work, and they end up losing early on in the season or like early on in the playoffs. But a quarterback like Gucci, and I've seen him play co-ed, I've seen him play
Yep,
Division D, I believe, and or no,
yep,
Division 4.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen him play
4,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
yeah, for sure,
So he knows what he's
hundred
doing, and
percent,
he has a talented roster around
100%. All right,
him. So
let's hop over to
going to Mofos versus All
yeah,
Black.
exactly.
Um,
I'm surprised. I mean, listen, All Blacks are a good team. I'm surprised it was a blowout though. I thought the Mofos would be a little better than what they were, but
yeah, me too. Going into this, I would figure I would go in. I would figure Mofos would make it a bit more interesting. The fact that All Blacks won this game 32-12, it's kind of surprising. Yannick Bissonnetti, he went 14 for 23, 143 yards, 3 TDs, 0 INTs. I think when you don't throw any INTs, it's a huge difference. Uh,
yeah, of
be,
course, yeah,
uh, Besides Michael Remy, he went 19 for 33,
yeah.
169 yards, 2 TDs with 3 INTs.
Three INTs, exactly,
So I think
exactly.
that's a big difference, and two of them were
Yep.
pick sixes.
There you go.
So
And
uh,
that's a huge factor right there, man.
yeah, it
Yep.
just goes to show two pick sixes. That's literally 12 points. They got two converts. So let's just say one of those converts, that's a 13 swing.
Yep.
Where you could have got touchdowns between that, right? So take 13 points off of All
Exactly.
Black, put 13 points to you, and you have a game where Mofos, let's just say 24, All Black 22, something around those lines. So it just goes to show that throwing interceptions does not help your case of winning games.
No, especially when they run back to the house, right? So shout out to Justin Melrose and Michael Frenier. They're returning both those INTs to the house. I know I'm looking at here Sam LaChance, the part of the FPF family. His dad's an official. He got an INT as well. So the one thing though, is it was disappointing with the Mofos, right? Like, so we're talking about my team, the commission, obviously. So we played like trash first half, as did the Mofos, right? I'll give my team credit. We fought back and we showed some heart in the second half. The Mofos just like, yeah, it just didn't happen. It's a little disappointing. I thought they would first half didn't go how you thought it would. You still have a whole second half of ball to kind of get your act together. I'm surprised again it was a blowout, but it is
Yeah, they
what it
just
is.
kind of they didn't do anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
surprising. It
Okay.
happens,
Yep.
playoffs.
True.
You don't have the lever the what's it called? You don't have the what's the word I'm trying to get from?
You don't have like the runway to make mistakes, or
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. It's not regular season playoffs, right? You can't have a bad hat. You can't
True.
have a bad game. You
True.
can't say, okay, you guys, next week. There's no next week.
Yeah.
It's this week, and
That is it.
yeah.
That
So
is it.
going to the next game, which is kind of it's interesting, right? So you have Beer Belly
Brigade.
Brigade,
Brigade.
sorry, versus the Hustlers.
Yep.
So the quarterback for Bear Belly, he actually wrote a post. I think he like tore
Yeah.
his
Alex Fafard, he got hurt again. Yeah.
yeah. So he actually got
Yep.
hurt. So they needed a replacement. They kind of went with a few guys. If you kind of check their schedules, they went with different guys every single week, but they end up going into this game with
Philip Jelena.
yeah, exactly. So he's their quarterback going into the playoffs, and he got the job done. 15 for 29, 147 yards, three TDs, and one INT. So he got the job done. His defense also did a great job.
Jesus.
Three INTs, and Felix Douet got a pick six. So that's a huge thing. The fact that they won 25-21, that pick
Yeah.
six was definitely something that was huge. And for the Hustlers, Felix Guerin, La Joie,
Yeah, la joie. Garen la joie. I think.
yeah, he went
La
15 for
joie.
29, 111 yards, three TDs, three INTs. So the INTs was a big factor. The fact that they only lost by four and he threw three INTs is also something that kind of shows that their offense was kind of rolling. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, if you throwing a pick six is a big game changer, and also throwing two picks
Yeah.
after that doesn't have the fact of viewing games. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks throwing three INTs and winning games, especially
So
for
so what that's it. So two things that I take away from this game. First, so Beer Belly Brigade again. So Alex Fafard, I think he tore his ACL last fall season, or maybe it was winter. I can't remember. So he was gone for most of the year last year. So the fact that he got hurt again, unfortunately, I think it's a shoulder injury. His team is used to that, right? Because you look at these guys like David, Felix Dowell, this guy, Felix Fortier, Olivier Claveau, so on and so forth. They've been together for a long time. I played against these teams a million times. A lot of people have played against the same core group, right? So they sit together. So they're used to having different quarterbacks. Philip Jelena plays for the Studs in Division D. This guy had 43 touchdown passes in Division D. So it's not like they're getting some scrub that can't play.
Mhm.
The only thing is, so I remember Rob instituting this rule years ago. I thought it got eliminated. It's my fault for not staying up to date. I was told it was eliminated. You can get a guy as an injury replacement as long as that person is rated lower than the person he's replacing. But then
Or five
if
up,
that
five down.
person's sorry,
I thought it was five up, five down.
no, no, apparently I brought this in years ago, and so what it is basically is you can get someone that's rated lower than you to replace you, but once they replace you, the player that's hurt cannot come back for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I know.
Okay, so that seems to be the case with Jelena because Jelena, I'm looking at his bio right now. I don't think he played a single game for Bill Belly Brigade, and no, he played week one. He was on the roster for week one. He didn't. Yeah, he had five catches for 32 yards. Week one, that was it.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing that was the rule they used to that Jeff or maybe Ben allowed him to play. It was that old Rob Campana rule. I thought that
Or
was abolished, but
for the IR, but it's an IR rule.
yeah, well the IR rule, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So the IR rule is you could have if you get hurt, you can have a replacement to replace you. But I thought it was five up, five down. So like, let's just say there's a player that gets hurt right on a
Yeah,
Division D team,
yeah.
and his rating is 71, 72. Okay, but for
Hmm.
some reason you guys have a lot of cap. You can't bring in a stud at 90 and say, okay, well
Yeah,
he's has to
yeah.
be like 75, 76, has to be five up, five down from what same thing for quarter. I think same for quarterback rating too. Uh,
Okay.
it could be lower, but it just can't be higher. Like I think you could go lower, but you can't go higher. So if he's a
Okay.
70, let's just say this like as again for example, this quarterback's 71. I'm not exactly sure what the other quarterback is, but if he's 77, then another quarterback doesn't have to be 72. He could be lower than that.
Okay, so that makes sense. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. So like Alex Fafard, well, he's an 82 basically as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So
So
how is
so
he
I
even
think
allowed to?
I think it applies if you're lower, it's fine. Because if
Okay.
not, that's kind of stupid. I would think, but
Okay. No, 100%. 100%.
but
Again, I thought they got rid of that. I thought it was just the no matter who it is, they have to have 5 games. And if they fit in the cap, obviously. Anyways, either or. So my whole point of bringing that up is so the Hustlers probably had no idea that Philippe Jalinov was going to be throwing. That's my
no,
thing, right?
for sure no.
Because
But
we've
that
seen
yeah, but at the end of the day, like it is what it is. You adapt to it. That
to
you
the make
adapt to
yeah,
it, right?
yeah, that's true.
The Hustlers is a team that they seem like they've been kind of. It seems like it's a team that's been playing together for a bit. I know they kind of go up and down regarding divisions.
Yeah, there's a lot of sorry, I guess you still there, Quaysie? Okay, so yeah, Quaysie is gonna come back on. So yeah, Quaysie's point part of me. So yeah, looking at a team like the Hustlers, so a lot of them do have experience together playing co-ed, and obviously playing in the men's division. So Amelie de Roche, so she's a veteran player. If you haven't seen her play, she's actually a really really good player. She led her team with 4 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. But speaking to Quasey's point, yeah, it is a team that has been together for a while for the most part. Eric Nams is another guy that's played for a while. Jean Sebastian Saint Arnaud, I've had a chance to watch him play multiple teams this year. A good player as well, both sides of the ball. So again, there was a replacement at quarterback. You have to adjust, and unfortunately, I mean, the Hustlers didn't get blown out, right? They lost 25-21, so it's not like they got smoked 25-2 or 25-10 or 25-12 or whatever, right? So they made it a close game. Just at the end of the game, they couldn't pull it out. Just looking to see how this game ended here. It's in my notes. So yeah, looking at it here. So uh Beer Belly Brigade basically got a touchdown on the last play of the game from Jelianat to Jonathan Benoit. 24-yard touchdown on the final play of the game. So a walk-off victory, right, for Beer Belly Brigade. So credit to them for pulling it out again with essentially a brand new quarterback. And for the Hustlers, that's just heartbreak right there. You think you're the lower seed, yeah, but you think you're advancing. You do everything right, except for that last play, you give up the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, let's hop over to Division B here.
Yeah, Division B. So Division B, interest. We had some good matchups for Division B going into this.
Hmm.
Again, we had no buys going into Division
Nope.
B. We actually had a crazy factor that les Verges
They,
Folie.
the verse fall, they pulled it off, man. I was wrong. I'm gonna say I was wrong. I thought they were gonna miss the playoffs for sure. I was wrong.
Yeah,
Credit to
they
them.
pulled up a huge upset versus Mongoose,
Yeah,
33-19, and
yeah,
they end up knocking Never Overtime out of the playoffs to get
yep.
themselves into the quarterfinals. So good.
Props
I
to
just want
them.
to give them a shout out. You know, when
Hmm.
when push came to shove, they got their act together and they got in. You know, unfortunately,
They played them again.
they played Mongoose.
5 days
Uh,
later.
yeah, they played Mongoose exactly 5 days later, and it didn't go their way. Supposedly there was a call that was put on. I believe it was Guillaume Belin that got the call. Chris actually posted on Facebook where the quarterback from Mongoose ends up. I think he throws a fade to
Yeah, yeah. I saw. I know what you're talking about. I saw that. I saw it. I,
yeah,
you know,
he throws a fade to Thomas Kutsu, I believe he was. He throws a fade to Thomas Kutsu, and Guillaume does a good job on playing the ball, but he ends up falling on Thomas Kutsu with his body.
mhm.
So there was, and he ended up being out for 10 plays. So unfortunately, the problem is, right, Guillaume is most likely one of their best players.
He is their best player. Almost like he is their best
So,
player.
so the fact
100%.
that I'm not exactly sure what the score was going into that, but the fact that he he got taken out the game for 10 plays, it does. I'm sure it was a huge swing uh, for uh, for um, the
The verse fall.
yeah, I'm sure it was a huge swing for them. But again, Mongoose ended up getting it done. They ended up winning 33-19. So kind of like, it's funny. They beat them 33-19, and then they rebeat them 33-19. No, see, wait, no, they beat them Mongoose. They beat them. Wait, where did they play them? Where didn't they play them in the regulars? Who did wait? Where did they first? Sorry, they beat them 39. They beat them 39-33, and then
Hmm.
they end up losing against them 33-19. So
Yeah. It is what it is.
again,
Listen, the better team won, and I guess that was probably wake up call that last game of the regular season. I, for the pardon me, for Mangoes again losing to Laverge Fall, but getting the revenge 5 days later. My biggest takeaway though from this game is Laverge Fall, obviously with Guillaume Bellon. It is what it is. Former McGill player, going to be part of Team Canada for the 2028 Olympics. He's a huge difference maker, right? Both sides of the ball. He can play quarterback as well too. We can see what 1 for 1 for 35 yards and a touchdown. So he can play quarterback. One of the many guys who suits up for the Braves, along with like Will Trache, guys who could play quarterback in kind of any division. So whenever they play on a team that's not the Braves, do some things at receiver, do some things at DB, and then here and there play a little quarterback and show their skills. So congrats to Belon. Obviously, his absence for the majority of the season, some of it due to being on Team Canada, led to Laverge Fall struggling because again, this is a team in Division C in the winter that had a much better record than this spring. Pardon me, Division Three. Pardon me, in the winter. Um, my big thing though, looking at quarterbacks. So Thomas Charles Parody, right?
Mhm.
He's been the quarterback pretty much the whole season for this team. So he impressed me as of late. He helped get his team into the playoffs. Did he have the greatest game the other night? No, but I mean, with 2 touchdowns, 2 ints, whatever is fine. They have something though. I think in him. Um, he reached the midway point of the season, 7 touchdowns, 6 ints. So definitely nothing to write home about. Over the second half of the season, he has 16 touchdown passes to only 5 ints. So the ints are still a little high, but so are the touchdown passes, right? So I think if they could keep on building around him, having Bellon there for the whole season would be huge.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a team who, again, we saw in the winter they were a lot better. I think we'll see a bit something resembling a bit closer to that team than what we saw this past spring season.
Yeah, 100%. You also could see it, right? This is also Division B. This is it's a hard
It's
division.
true.
You have
It's
you have
true.
a you have a
It's
shit
true.
ton of you have a
Yep.
shit ton of good athletes in the division. It's competitive, right? He was missing two of his best receivers. You have Francis Rochelot that only played 5 games in going into this, and then you
Mm-hmm.
had Guillaume. I think probably only played 5 or 6 games. So you have
Mm-hmm.
two of your top receivers that you're not throwing the ball to for pretty much half the
That's true.
season, and then
That's
you're
true.
going to playoffs and you kind of lose. You have to get the chemistry
Yeah.
going, whatever
Yeah.
the routes. Like if you have these guys for the full 10 games and you're able to actually build a good chemistry for those games, I feel like this game would have been completely different. And it kind of just goes to show that they did beat them. You know, it did. Mongoose, I'm pretty sure didn't say, okay, guys, we're gonna watch. We're giving you guys this win. I'm pretty sure they came out there and they tried to do it and
Yeah.
they end up losing. You know, so it just goes to show how good this team actually could be.
Definitely. Let's go. So I think this was like a fantastic game. Shake and bake. Sorry, going to the next game. Shake and bake, 56-49 victory over Fins up. So I have an article that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. Well, you know what? Technically, this is probably coming out Saturday, so it'll be out Friday. My article. I'm almost finished. There's one game I've left to talk about. I want to look at this matchup though. This quarterback matchup. Will Power for Fins up against Marc Andre Reese for Shake and bake. These guys came out and balled. They ball both guys. So I'm looking at it right here. 15 touchdown passes between the two of them, which is obviously something to write home about. I'm looking at the yardage right here. They had about 533 yards combined between the both of them. Receivers had touchdowns galore. Joey Nataro, so candidate for receiver of the year, and they beat 126 yards, 3 TDs. I think you might have heard what I said about his Colts a few weeks back, so he probably got a little mad at me. So he balled out. James Lanshaw, 2 TDs. Simon Deschênes, so the quarterback of Jagerbomb, plays receiver and DB here. He had a touchdown. Maximilian Sidori, one of the most underrated snappers in FPF, he had a touchdown. The other side, though, Andre Reeves, again, 8 touchdown passes. Jerome Hovington, 2 CDs. Victor Boutin, 2 TDs. Emile Decoteau, 2 TDs. Felix Boutte, 2 TDs. Like, these guys came on ball. It was just back and
Yeah.
forth all game long.
But they both stud. They have both stud casts, right? All these they have some of the top
Yeah,
receivers
it's true.
in FPF right
Yep.
now. Again, as Felix Boutte, he's one of those guys could go over the top, and it does bring anything underneath it as well, right? And with a
Yep.
quarterback like Marc Andre Reeves, probably going to be one of the. I think he's probably going to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks if he continues playing the way he's playing
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
It just goes to show. Even Willpower. Willpower is actually I'm gonna be one of those players, right? When we play Willpower, I'm like at first I was like, oh, all right, I'm not that stressed, and now I'm kind of like locked in. I'm not
Yeah, he
playing
could
around
ball. He
because
could
he
ball.
will be a quarterback that will drop 250 yards, 300 yards, and use 7 TDs at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Like effortless. It
Yep.
looks like he's just having a
It's true.
great time out there. So it's
100%.
to one guy you kind of have to lock in. So again, Marc Andrees also a quarterback that's getting out there, and it just kind of goes to show both of these guys scoring 56 and 49 with no ints either, right? No pick sixes. There's no defense that's helping them out here to add points on the stat sheet. It's really just them just launching the ball and swinging it to some of the top receivers we have at FPF.
and and for me, this is funny because I wrote so before I left for vacation, I wrote an article. I was talking about pretenders, contenders, and we're not sure yet. And I'm looking at it now. I'm just gonna look at it quickly. My apologies. I talked about fins up, and I'm like, I think I remember saying like this is a team with so much talent, and they can go all the way. I said to myself, I wasn't sure if they could. They had a bad end of the year loss. I'm trying to see who it was against. To finish out the regular season, they lost to. I'm sorry, just waiting for it to come up on my
They lost
computer.
to
Yeah,
Le
Fins.
Verge for
Yeah,
fully.
Leverage Fall. Yeah, exactly. They lost 31-30. And I remember in that article, I had written a part about Fins up, and I was like, nah, you know what? I believe in willpower as a quarterback. I believe in a lot of the weapons, both sides of the ball. I'm like, all right, they're gonna win a championship. And then I remember changing it around, and I was like, nah, you guys can't be losing to Le Verge Fall. I don't care who's in the lineup. You're a team that wants to be taken seriously as a champion. Doesn't matter to me. You can't be losing to these guys. So I ended up um, taking them out, and I think I put them opening the article right now on my laptop here. I put Fins up, I think, in the pretenders category. Let me just see right here quickly. Sorry, I know I'm eating up time. My apologies. Yeah, I put them. They're the first team I put in the pretenders category, and I even said in the article I had originally included them in the first part, but then I switched it up. And again, you can't be losing until they verse fall. And again, my whole point of bringing this up was Fins up has all the talent in the world. I just didn't trust them. I didn't trust
Mhm.
their defense. I didn't just trust them to get the victory when
Yeah.
needed the most.
Well,
And yeah, they're one and done.
yeah. Well, their defense is not there. They're a team that doesn't really play defense, and you can see it a lot during a lot of their season when they do have a team like this. They do average. I think they average points allowed is about 40 to each team. So no defense, but
Mm-hmm.
offense is definitely there. But
Oh, for sure.
sometimes if
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have an,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I kind of said it was like at this point, if someone kind of asked me, and I was kind of looking at this matchup before, and then like I probably would have said when we first went to 40 or first went to 50, and you kind of see that
Right,
shake and bake top
right,
56. So.
right. No,
Uh,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
okay. So going to the next game, you have Run and Ones that played Silent Tickers, where Run and Ones
Yep.
took it 35-24. It's kind of funny that these teams played against, right? Because they kind of merge, and
Yeah,
Division A and
that's
competitive, they
right.
kind of
That's
merged
right.
their team together. So it's kind of funny that they end up playing versus each other first round. But this game was kind of it's kind of weird how it happened. There's not that much to talk about if you kind of see the stats
Oh,
that Jordan Nettis that he did. He 16 for 35, 197 yards,
yeah.
4 TDs, 4 INTs. So again,
Yeah.
you're throwing 4 INTs. I don't think you expect to win when something like that happens.
Not as listen. So I had Jordan Pinner, pardon me. I had Silent Ticklers in my we're not sure yet category, and I go back to last season when we started doing the podcast together. Right, I remember against ECW. Silent Ticklers got smoked by ECW. ECW great offense. It is what it is. And no shame in that. So in the semifinals for I want to say division, I think it was Division 1, Division 2, yeah, Division 1. They got smoked. No, sorry, Division 2. My apologies.
Yeah,
They got
two.
smoked. And so this come when I saw the stat line, I was like, wow. I was like, I think Jordan Panetta is one of the top quarterbacks in definitely Division B, but I would say in all FPF. But you get these kind of games from Panetta sometimes, and I know he got mad at me when I remember talking about that article. I compared him, I think, to Daniel Jones back in the day. He's way better than that. I honestly think Jordan Panetta, and he might get mad at this. I have no idea who his favorite football team is. I think Jordan Panetta is kind of like Dak Prescott, where
Mm,
you have these fantastic games,
yeah,
and then
when
you
he's
just have these
on,
other games. Yeah, when he's
yeah,
on, he's
when
on. There's
yeah,
almost no one better. But then you have these games where it's like big games where it's like a bunch of INT. You can't throw 4 INTs.
yeah. He threw
Not to
four.
say they're all his fault, but
No, but you threw 4 INTs, a pick six, one of those INTs, and
yeah,
he also
yeah.
threw an extra 2 point convert for that got thrown that got intercepted and came back.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of threw 8 points, maybe potentially 9 points if they
Ricky
got the
Jalen
convert.
Greaves. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to so I mean that you can't have that. And they lost by 9, right? So Jalen Reeves got
There you go.
2, and then let's just say the pick six was 6, and then 1 point
Yep,
extra points. So that's 9 points right there.
that's it.
And you can see Jeff's stat line: 14 for 26, 144 yards, 4 TDs, 1 AT. He didn't have to do much.
He
Yeah,
didn't have to do much. Yeah, yeah.
he didn't do much. He didn't have to do much. It's to a point like a halftime rate, 13-12. I'm sure Jordan Pineda at least threw maybe 2 picks into the halftime. and then the second half, I'm pretty sure that's where the pick six came. So Jeff was kind of just coasting on kind of on standby and kind of letting his defense do a lot. Because if Jordan Pineda doesn't throw these four ints, I think Silent Ticklers definitely win this game.
Well, look, Panetta got picked off like the second pass of the game. He got picked off, and then Jeff 3 plays later, he got picked off himself. But then after that, like he settled things down. And this is one of the things I want to bring up. One of the big takeaways for me in this game is that Jeff this season he only has 5 ints, counting the playoffs. I guess now it's 6. But this has been his lowest total actually since going back to last year where he had 5 ints for his Div A team. Usually he's up there in the double digits in ints. So,
Mm-hmm.
my question to you, friend, once is if Jeff is able to protect the ball, can this team go all the way?
Well, it's one of this. First of all, he played 7 games, so he didn't miss
Yeah, yeah,
3 games.
yeah.
But the
True,
fact
true,
that
true.
he went 38 for 4, it still kind of shows. But this team, this roster is actually pretty crazy. When they even
Mm-hmm.
going into it, right? You have Sanders, you have Paul, you have
Yeah,
Noah, you have
yeah.
Jalen, you
Felix.
have
Yeah, yeah,
Felix,
yeah.
you have
Mm-hmm.
Bakari, you have
Ahmed.
yeah, exactly. You have studs all around. There's no reason why you should be throwing in interceptions. You have guys, you have man beaters, you have zone
Mm-hmm.
beaters, you have
Yeah,
any type of thing you need on offense, you have it.
it's true. It's true.
There's no excuses. This team started 0-3. Sorry, 0-2. They started 0-2. They lost 2 games to literally the bottom seed teams, to Nova Overtime
Yeah.
and Les Verts for Lee. They lost two of the literally the 2 teams that end up at the bottom. They lost versus them, and then they kind of went on a streak and they end up winning 4 games in a row, lost versus Mangoose 36-35, which is the top seed, and then again they end up winning 4 games after that and then ending their ending the regular season 7-3. So this team is scary, and the amount of guys they have around them it just goes to show how much damage they could do. So no, I'm not really surprised that he only has thrown 4 ints, because I think every year, I think Jeff is kind of starting to get realized that he's getting better and better, and that he doesn't have to force a lot of things, and he has a lot of guys that can do checkdowns, or just guys that will read a zone, and he just has to find them instead of being panicked and kind of throwing off his foot or making those really bad throws. I think every year he's starting to realize the more talent that he has around, the less work he has to do.
Yeah. But again, my question though, do you think they can go all the way? If he keeps
Oh,
protecting the ball like
yeah,
this,
yeah,
can they
they
win it all?
definitely can go all the way. This should be. I'm not exactly sure. I think they finished second, and Mongoose
Yeah,
finished
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
first.
second.
So they
They're
don't.
second.
They shouldn't even. They shouldn't even play versus them going into until the finals. So I think it should be Mongoose and things. So run it. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. 1-1. 1-2. So I don't. They don't even have to worry about playing Mongoose. If they have to play Mongoose in the semis, I would be like, okay,
Okay.
but the fact that they don't have to play them into the finals, if they end up going to the finals, I think this is definitely a team that
Okay.
should go all the way.
Okay. So let me ask you then: if they end up having to play them in the finals, like you're saying, or like you're thinking, who gets the W?
I think Runner Wentz will get the W.
Okay.
I
Same.
think their
Same.
defense that Runner Wentz has is it's it. I think they should be able to stop Mongoose. Again, Mongoose does have a good defense. They have a good offense. Don't get me wrong, but I think Runner Wentz should be able to adapt to what Mongoose is doing. They're kind of a team that they do what they do the same thing. They don't really change much, but they do it works. But I think when you play
Yeah.
them more than 2 or 3 times, you start to kind of realizing what exactly they do. And I think the veteran talent that Runaway has, I think they're gonna be ready for that game. They're gonna be like, okay, guys, we lost
Okay.
with these guys 36-35. This is what they did. We can't let them do this. We have to take away this, and I think they should be fine going into it.
Okay. All right. Let's move quickly now to the last game. Idaho out of Pims knocking off Poseidon's Kiss 36-30. Not surprised this game was a shootout. Two definitely strong offensive teams. I want to say though that this game was like the Jeremy Rooney game. Jeremy Rooney was a stud for his team. 3 touchdowns in the game. So 2 as a receiver, and then he had 2 ints. One of them he ran back to the house in this contest. I've said this a lot this season. I think Jeremy Rooney arguably is the most underrated player on this team. I mean, you have a lot of guys like Manu, Marc Andre Lapointe, Danny Coloma. Obviously, you get a lot of the headlines, and of course, it starts with the quarterback. Alexi Marcotte as well, a solid player, but of course, it starts with the quarterback Brady or Hennessy. But like, yeah, Jeremy Rooney, man, he's been balling. Ashton Tebow as well. Shout out to him. I don't think he played in this game though, but yeah, Rooney again, he was all over the place, all over the field in this game.
Mm. Um, I don't want to say it, but I told you so.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I'm saying. Remember what I said about
Yep.
Possession Kiss? My exact
Yeah.
words were these. I even said I said they're gonna lose their next 5 games. I
Hmm.
literally called it. I said these guys are gonna lose their next 5 games. What
Yep.
happened? They lost their next 5 games. They literally lost versus Fins Up, Run It Once, Fins Up, Idaho. Sorry, Silent Ticklers, Fins Up, Run It Runs, Fins Up, and Idaho. And they ended up playing Idaho again in the playoffs, and they lost for some. I literally called it from the beginning.
You're right. Yeah. Listen, I had them on in the article I put out. I had them on my pretenders list, 100%. You can't
Oh,
go 5-0 and then go 5-5 and expect anyone to take you serious. Let's be
yeah.
real. It is what it is. They have great players on their team. We talked about a lot of the roster inconsistency. They had a full squad there. I will say though, so it's interesting. They were without the big man there, the receiver. Anis. I'm trying to get his name now. My apologies. I'm not on their team page right now. Um, he's like their big red zone threat. He's a good guy too. I talk to him all the time and say what's up to him.
Oh,
Anis
Arnis,
something. I should
mid,
know his name.
I think it's Ar. Yeah, I think it's Arnis.
And they were without him, but again, Ashton Tebow wasn't there. Neither was Sam Anastasopoulos. My apologies. Leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, right? To one of the leading candidates for sure. Right? He was not there either. It's Amos, sorry, yeah, Amos or Amos. Uh, Memitaj, yeah, Amos Memitaj. So the big receiver there, long arms. He could jump. A lot of the corner balls. What am I trying to say? Corner balls. The fades and that they usually go
Corner.
to him, jump balls and all that. He
Yeah,
wasn't in the
Terrell.
lineup, so
Yeah,
that's a big loss. But I mean, the Peterkin brothers were there. Janai Lewis was there. So I mean, Juwan Echo was there. So no excuse
yeah.
for these guys.
They had enough. They had enough guys that should be able to
Yeah,
make plays for them. In fact, also remember they were up 24. They were up in the first half. They were up
it's true.
24-22. Not
That's true.
saying it's crazy, but they
Not a
scored
huge
20.
lead, but
They
it's
scored
still, yeah,
24 in the
yeah,
first half.
yeah.
If Rock could do the same
That
thing
is
in the
true.
second
That
half,
is true.
they win this game easily. Same thing. Idaho. They scored 22. They went down to 14. But the difference was Idaho scored 14. They scored 6. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
So
That's true.
it just goes to show. I just felt like the fact that they started. The fact that they started 5-0, that's the only reason why I kind of said, okay, these guys are starting too fast, too high. Usually they're a team that finishes six and
Right,
four, or 5-5. The fact
right,
that you guys start five
right.
and 0, I feel like it just not that they were too cocky around going to it. I just think sometimes teams that start too good and really bad, and in this situation, it happened to them.
Yeah, yeah, you're not. Yeah, listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I mean, that seems to be what the case is, right? Start off real fast, and they couldn't do anything afterwards. They couldn't find their footing. And again, a lot of that's mistakes, and again, the constant roster changes and that, and guys not being there and whatnot. It catches up with you, and it did for Poseidon's Kiss. All right. So Division A. I mean, so looking at it here, obviously no playoffs games really for Division A. It's just
Yeah, no games
they
happen.
wrapped up
We
week
do
11.
Yeah, we do know who's playing who though. So just to kind of have a
Yeah.
little breakdown exactly what happened in Division A. So Party Crashers knock out Vultures.
Hmm.
Vultures was kind of their Vultures percentage to go in the playoffs was
Yeah.
very low. But
Yeah.
Party Crashers kind of they ended that. So Party Crashers got in. Infantry somehow snuck in the number 2 seed, so they will receive a bye with the Braves.
Yep.
The Braves finished their regular season 10-0, so
Hmm.
congrats to them. Let's see if they're able to have a perfect season and win their next 2 games, their semis and their finals. If they end up going that far. And the playoff matchup we're going to have is Idaho versus the
Against the
Jamiesons, and
Yep.
then we're going to have One Stop versus the Party Crashers. So we actually should have 2 really good games. Idaho versus Jamiesons, they actually share wins and losses versus each other, where the Jamiesons won 44-38, and then Idaho won 30-12. So that should be a very. It's going to see who's going to win the third matchup, and then One
Yep.
Stop played Party Crashers also as well,
Week
where
11.
exactly, where Party Crashers actually kind of need to win that game, so they end up winning that game
Yeah.
30-18. So we get a rematch here. So it's gonna be very
Yep.
interesting, and I think that's gonna be on the. I think it's on a Monday they play.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
They play
All
Monday,
right.
so that's gonna be interesting. So But that's pretty much it for Division A.
All right, so let's go to women's C here quick. I know we're past the 90-minute mark here. So women's C, looking at it right here. So again, no playoff games have happened yet
Yeah,
in women's
so
C.
they're kind of in the same situation as well, right? Because they only have
Yeah,
4 teams. They're only going to play their semis next week. So kind of just looking at it for C, you have the 4 teams. Everyone makes playoffs. You're gonna have Cavaliers versus Humble and Turf Titans versus She Sparks as the 4 teams that are gonna be playing, and that's gonna be happening next week as well.
yep. Okay, so women's B, hopping over to that. So looking at it here, so we had some games this past Tuesday. So two blowouts, unfortunately. Supernova knocking off Les ETS Turgeon 40-6. Kind of not really a big surprise there. Les ETS Turgeon, give them credit. So Simon Dagenet is the head coach of that team, obviously the FPF veteran. He has them playing hard. They're improving by small steps, right? They're taking small steps. I saw them a lot in the winter season. It wasn't that great. They lose 40-6, but they're better than what they were last year. So I know he's trying to build something over there. So hopefully they can keep on they're getting experience. They hopefully to keep on adding to the roster and getting a little better. Supernova obviously was a bit of a walk in the park for them. So they advance next week. Credit to Clarence Michaud, 6 TD passes in that game. Chloe Cobell getting two of them, Leanne Madrid getting two, and Rosaline Madrid getting two touchdown catches as well. So three different receivers getting two tutties in that game. So chaos. I had a chance to talking to Maryland Cesare a little yesterday actually, just congratulating her on her W. They knocked another blowout win. They knocked off the Dream Killers 60-6. That's a little surprised. I'm not surprised the Chaos won. I was just
Yeah, but
surprised that the
60
Dream
to
Killers got
6 is
smoked like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's ugly, man. That's it. Listen, Allison Sobo, obviously the Montreal Alouettes, 9 TD passes in that contest, 373 yards on 21 for 31 passing. So our homegirl Gigi, Geraldine Cabello Abante, obviously seven
Yeah,
catches, 172 yards, five touchdowns.
yeah.
You play with
Welcome back.
Gigi. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome back. Yeah.
welcome back, Gigi. She was actually gone. I believe she was on vacation for a bit. So
Yep.
this
Yep.
is her first game back for a while. I think she missed a lot. She missed a couple games
She missed a
for
while. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She missed
So I
and
mean,
shout outs. Oh, Emma as well. Emma had a touchdown from Maryland, who I just mentioned, had a touchdown. And shout out to the homegirl. Shout out to Phoebe. So Phoebe Gervais, Leo's daughter. Obviously, again, I've talked about her a couple of times. I remember her as a little kid on the sidelines when Leo's referee. And obviously, she's a little bit grown now, and she had an awesome game. 4 catches, 82 yards, two touchdowns for Phoebe. So congrats to her. Can't wait to see her next and give her a big fist bump. I'm proud of her. Again, good job to the ladies for chaos. Disappointing end of the season for Dream Killers. Veteran team Noemi for Forte here the bees had one touchdown and like two ints. Just like they couldn't get anything going. They Esther Morin Struthers had 95 yards, but that was pretty much it. No one else had more than 25 yards. That's not going to cut it. They couldn't get their act together at all. This is, again, I'm not surprised Chaos won. I'm just surprised in the fashion that they won, because you look at it, right? Like Sobel had 200 yards more pass, 210 yards more passing wise, and then Forte and her the bees. Yeah, it was just domination from like start to finish, pretty much. 0 for 6 on fourth down was were the Dream Killers, so that's definitely not going to help you win any games. Um, yeah, I was looking at it here. Yes, I believe that was the last playoff game. Am I wrong? Let me just double check here. Yeah, so that's the last playoff game in women's B. Let's head over to women's A now. So the cream of the crop, if you will, in women's flag football, pardon me. All right, so look at the playoff schedule. Two games took place, blowouts as well. One blowout, pardon me. So ice cold, laying a beat down on the Monarchs by a score of 33-6. That was a bit surprising. I thought the game would be a little closer than that. I've been a fan of this ice cold team. I believe they're a serious championship contender. Athena Ryan, 5 touchdown passes in the game. So Maria Manseri, 8 catches on 8 targets, which was great for her. 107 yards, 1 TD. Laura Zuka, former gymnast, I believe. I've had an article. There's an article on her on the FPF website. If you haven't read it yet, check it out. Awesome player. She had 2 touchdowns. Ashley Longain, trying to get her on as a guest on the show. The schedules don't work out. Maybe we'll get a chance to have her on later this postseason. 2 touchdowns. So congrats to her. I know she watches the podcast. Her defense, they're on point. Shelly Grenier getting an INT. Krista V. Jumel getting an INT as well. Looking at the other side, Morgan LaFole from the Monarchs. She threw a touchdown pass, catching that with Sarah Mold Harvey, the only touchdown of the game for that team. So yeah, one-sided game, 33 to 6, 13 to 6 at halftime, but then 20 to nothing ice cold outscored the Monarchs in the second half. So that's not going to be a recipe for success again if you don't show up in the second half. And the Matrix knocking off Blue Pond and what was without question the game of the week here happened on the 5th there, so that was on Monday night. Definitely a shootout. Emmanuel Brassard, 4 TD passes in the loss. Elizabeth Ashkar, who's one of the top quarterbacks in all of FPF, 4 touchdown passes herself in that W. 2 sacks. So Annie Frederick Tarter, if I had a chance to watch her play in the winter season, she is a player. I'll tell you that. She is definitely a player. 2 big sacks in that game for her squad. She also had 8 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. So she led all players in receptions, or 7 receptions, pardon me. So she led all players, well, tied for the lead in receptions, but led all players in yards of 82 on the receiving end. Looking at the half, so there was no. That's the game with the overtime. Actually, my apologies. So Matrix with the 28-27 win in OT. Let's get you the winning score if I could find out who got the winning score um
It
for
was
the
actually you don't see it.
for the
You're not
Matrix.
gonna
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
you're not
shoot.
gonna
Yeah,
see the
damn.
who gets it.
That's unfortunate. But Matrix got the W, so congrats to them.
You do
Big
see
win.
that Blue Pond went for the win though. Um,
Yeah. They went for the two. They went for the two.
they,
Congrats. Yeah, credit to them. That's what you have to do. Honestly.
yeah, they kind of they went for the win because they could have won for one and they could have extended it, but they went for the one and they went for two.
Yeah.
Um, Something that's kind of interesting, right? I kind of talked about it a bit. So we have Matrix that advanced, right? And then you have Ice Cold that is good that advanced, right? You
Yeah.
have Sub Zero, and then you have
Against Ice
Cayenne,
Cold.
right?
Yeah. So
Yes,
Sub Zero's gonna play Ice
yeah,
Cold and Kaya's gonna play Matrix.
yeah. So it's kind of funny, but again, both Ice Cold and Cayenne are be missing half of their team going into the semis.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
So
half their team is going to be in China, participating in the World Games for flag. So they're
yeah.
going to be missing half their team for Cayenne, half their team for Sub Zero. So
So
this is
it's
actually this is probably well. I'm gonna give Matrix the benefit of the doubt because Matrix is actually a really good team. They've been
yeah,
together for a
yeah.
while. They have a bunch of good athletes, but this is a time for Ice School that technically you guys could take a huge advantage in this situation and get to a final appearance with Sub Zero kind of on limping on kind of one leg because
Yeah.
they're not gonna have their usual quarterback.
Well, the one thing I will say about that though, so Sub Zero, it's not the first time Sarah Parker's gonna miss a game for her team right this season. She's missed a couple this season because of commits for obviously 15 Canada and whatnot, right? She missed 3 regular season games this year. So it's a matter of will Emily Carrier be there? That's the thing, right? Because Carrier can play quarterback, or will they have the same thing like we saw with Alex Fafard and Philip Jelena for Bear Belly Brigade, right? They can maybe bring someone else in, maybe perhaps, and have them throw. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Carrier is there. I wouldn't worry that much about Sub Zero. Emily Carrier, number 44. She usually snaps and that she's a great snapper. She's a legit division, well, women's division A or women's division one, if you will, quarterback. I've seen her play a lot over the years. She could throw. Don't let her lack of height fool you. She has an arm. She could throw. She's an athlete. So if Parker isn't there and Carrier is, I'm still gonna say Sub Zero gets the W. Obviously, probably gonna be missing players like Sabrina Gervais and others, right? So I mean, maybe Tamara Journeau. So that's going to be huge, right? I don't want to diminish their potential absence from the lineup. Listen, speaking to your point, if you're ice cold, Sub Zero's missing some players. This is it. You have to get the W here. There's no excuses. I I I want to say I'm still going to favor Sub Zero just because it's Sub Zero, right? They've been the queens of the mountain forever, and they have missed players throughout the season and other seasons in the past through the tournaments and whatnot. I'm just saying if you're ice cold, this could be your best chance to knock the queens, or not the crown off their heads. So let's see what you can do.
No, 100%. My bad. My connection is so bad here now, so that's why I'm
No
kind of
worries.
cutting off and on.
Hey, credit to you.
But
Listen, man. Credit to you, man. I mean, you're in Toronto now. You said right?
yeah,
Right for
exactly. Yeah,
tournament. Listen, I
yeah.
did Jamaica last week. You're doing Toronto. The Wi-Fi is what the Wi-Fi is, my friend. The fact that you're here, appreciate it. All right, man.
But
Let's hop to sorry.
yeah, no, I got to hear what you said at the end, and I completely agree with you.
All right,
Um,
cool.
all right, Coed 3.
Yes, sir. So
Quad
quickly,
three.
so no games. The playoffs start on Friday, right? So
Oh,
yeah, Yard Chasers, Flamingos, Steelers, Vicious and Delicious, Dream Killers, Tight Ends, Vultures, and Shadow Squad. Those are
okay.
the matchups for Co-Ed 3.
Oh, actually, yards for Chasers versus Flamingos. There's a forfeit. I'm not exactly sure what team that forfeited, but there is a
Oh,
forfeit on that
okay.
game.
Okay.
So
No. All right. We'll
just
have to
goes to
see
show.
who it
But
is.
I guess we'll say good luck to those teams. I also want to give a shout out. It's kind of I want to give a shout out to she did have a really bad game against Chaos, but she had I
Shout out, you were
believe
horrible. Shout out to you.
no, but she had a really good co-ed season.
Who's this?
It's wait, maybe I'm talking about the wrong division. Okay, maybe no.
Nice.
Maybe it's like oh no, we're in quad three. Yeah, we're in quad three, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Naomi. I think her name is. She plays
Naomi
for
Oman.
yeah, I believe
Oman. Yeah,
it's
she plays for Chaos. Yeah.
yeah. She played against Chaos. She played versus no. What I'm talking about. Sorry. Let me just it's opening. Naomi Fortin
Oh, her
her
to bees. Yeah,
Tubis.
she's Dream Killers.
Yeah,
Dream Killers quarterback.
yeah.
Yeah.
She had a really good co-ed season. 50
Yep.
touchdowns,
Yep.
6 ints. I believe she's gonna win quarterback of the year for co-ed three. So just a shout out there. It's also it's kind of good to see progressive. I believe she played co-ed last season. She didn't do that well, but this season she did her thing.
Yeah,
So I'm
congrats to her. I've seen her play a lot. This is why I was saying before. I was surprised with the Dream Killers in the women's divisions. Why and women's too? Why they did so bad? Or women's B, sorry,
yeah,
why they did so bad
yeah,
against Chaos? Because
exactly.
she's a good quarterback. But yeah, you're right. And she is putting up a heck of a season in co-ed 3 for sure. So props to her, and I'm glad you're able to point that out. 100%.
Right.
Just looking at these matchups here with the Vultures, they're the eighth seed. Uh, Shadow Squad, they are the ninth. We have again the Dream Killers are the seventh seed. They're taking on the 10th seed in tight ends, and then looking at the pardon me, Steelers. Steelers are the 10th seed. Vicious and Delicious are the pardon me. Steelers are the sixth seed. Vicious and Delicious are the 11th seed. So pretty good
Yeah.
matchups. Best of luck to all the teams taking part. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week. Again, those games are all scheduled to take place this Friday, and they're all in Laval. So yeah, that should be good. Let's
All right.
do
Co-ed two.
co-ed two. Yes, sir.
Again, and there, what, I find it pretty cool when well you don't see that often that girls throw in co-ed. You don't see it as often, especially for co-ed three and co-ed two.
Mhm.
But we had Emily Adam that
Yeah,
she
shout
was on
out
the
to her. Yep,
podcast with
yep.
you 2 weeks ago. She had a really good season as well. 43 for seven,
Yep.
43 touchdowns, 7 INT.
She's
So
legit. She's legit.
she
100%.
also had a really good season. So I just want to give a shout out
100%.
there as well.
Yeah, shout out to her. I mean, just there haven't been any playoff matchups yet in co-ed two, so that'd be because the regular season just finished the other day. Actually, we're back on the 29th. Block Party beating Les Flagouliers
Yeah,
47-31. So we'll have
but
to wait and
there's
see when
no
the schedule starts with that. But looking at the playoff breakdown right here, you talked about Emily Adam, her team, Hebel with the number one seed. So teams 1 through 4 have the bye. So it's going to set up basically all teams to make the playoffs. So it's going to be 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7, 10, 8, 9. Is
yeah.
yeah, looking forward to watching Double Dip. There's going to be Anything is a team I've seen a lot. So they're playing second round shock attack, same thing for them. Block Party again, they always have a good crowd out to watch their games. It's always exciting. Purple Blood I've seen a couple of times too. Kamikaze as well. So should be some good games for co-ed two. Let's hop over to co-ed one here quickly. Um,
Yes, Quad one, we're kind of the same situation. Games are only played on Monday.
yeah, yeah,
How it works that the top two teams do get by. So you have
yes sir.
Chat GTD, and you have the merge that are going to receive the buy. The two
Mm-hmm.
teams are going to be playing is going to be Lego My Flag versus No Pads No Helmets, and then you're going to have
Mm-hmm.
the IG team versus Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, two good games right there, man. I'm looking forward to them. Both those teams have all battled in the regular season, so I mean we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I mean, yeah, I'm expecting some really good football this coming week from co-ed one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of games this weekend. Actually, well,
100%,
like this
100%.
weekend,
Yep,
following the Mondays, we're gonna have a lot of games being played.
yep.
Um,
So five
so
v
that's
five
really it.
intermediate, same thing. No games have been played yet for the postseason.
Mhm.
Looking at the standings right here though, so the playoff breakdown, teams one and two get the bye. So Les Giants there, or Legions, I guess if you want to call them, the number one seed, they have the bye. Still CRA, since I've seen them play a lot. I like these guys. They have the second bye, so it's going to be Blue Dry taking on FC Bing, and Ambush taking on Five Guys. I'm really looking forward to the Ambush and Five Guys game. Unfortunately, the Montreal Mavericks, first season for most of those guys in FPF did not go how they thought it would. 0-10. Yeah, 87 points scored on the whole season. That's not going to help anybody win any games, but it is what it is. It's a learning experience. Anything else stand out to you in this oh, okay, so my apologies. Yeah, so again, FC Bing against Blue Dry. Let's look quickly. These teams played in the regular season. Blue Dry beat them 47-19 in week 4. And then Blue Dry beat them 60-28 back in week 10. That's back on July 27th. So obviously two blowouts, courtesy of Blue Dry laying a beat down at FCB. Maybe third time's a charm for FCB. We'll have to wait and see. And like I said, Ambush against Five Guys. So Ambush with the 4 seed with a 7-3 record. Five Guys, the 5 seed with a 6-4 record. Looking at the regular season matchups here, um, Ambush, they beat Five Guys. Oh, nail biter, 33-32 back in week 6. And then they beat them 40-30 in week 8. That was on July 8th. So about exactly almost a month ago. So Ambush looking for the 3-game sweep. And obviously, if you're a member of looking at here, Five Guys, you want to get the last laugh and get the W and knock off Ambush. Let's see what happens.
Mhm. And okay, so that's 5v5 intermediate,
Intermediate.
right? And then so I think that's it for intermediate. And then now there's
Yeah,
5v5 competitive,
yeah,
which actually is we have some interesting
yeah.
news. I'm not sure if
An
you
upset. An upset. Yeah,
yeah,
an
we
upset.
had a
Yep.
we had a huge upset from no regard,
Yeah.
ending
Oh
the
yeah.
season 9-8, two and sorry, 2-8,
2-8. Yeah.
2-8, beating them.
That takes me back to the Poseidon's Kiss joke. Anyways, go on.
um, yeah, finishing 2-8, playing Flag One that finished 8-2,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
they got the win. Yeah,
Yep.
Sanders Ahmed, Sanders. What's Sanders' last name? I call him Sanders.
Armand.
Armand. Yeah, Sanders Ahmed, Armand gets a huge game-winning touchdown.
Hmm.
Miles Gibbons kind of, I think he rolls out a bit, just launches a freaking dot right in the middle of the field,
Yeah.
and Sanders just comes up with it, rips
Hmm.
it from
I feel like two players were in there
yeah,
for
actually
Sanders.
the brothers actually he took it
Oh,
from
Sam and Alex Nado, please.
yeah, exactly, he took it from
Yeah.
both of those guys and just ended up holding on to
Wow.
it, and he got a huge win for them.
Hmm.
So shout out to No Regard. I know a lot of people were knocking them off, but again, they have a decent roster. They do have a quarterback. It's taking time for them to kind of understand,
Yeah.
to kind of get a roll of things. And 5v5 is not for everybody, right? Like if you have a bad
It's true.
start, it's hard to kind of finish. But they played a great game. I
That
was
is
actually
true.
watching that game after my game. Their defense held up. I think they held Flagmont to 14 points in the first half. So the fact that they're able to do that, and they were allowing 356 points per they allowed 356 points per for the season. So they were allowing almost 50 points per game, like 40 points per game. So I think that's crazy. So the fact that they're able to hold down a team like Flagmont to 14 the first half shows a lot, and also getting the W at the end.
No, it's impressive for sure. I mean, again, like we were saying earlier, right? The regular season doesn't matter. This is the playoffs, and obviously Sanders and the rest of no regard, right? They brought their A game, and you have to play the games. You can't go what it says, in the standings. You have to go on the field and play. And obviously, no regard made a couple more plays. Flag one sack. This has to be disappointing, right? I mean, this is a team who 6v6 they lost to the Braves in the Division One finals. In the 5v5 they lost to the Braves in the finals. To be one and done, this is not the ending that they expected or anybody expected for the flag one less sack. But hey, it's a shocker, and this is why we play, right?
No, for sure. And then we had a couple more games. We had Raw Dogs versus Party Crashers. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what Party Crashers were doing. It was bad. It was bad the whole game. Raw Dogs took advantage early on. They scored. They stopped them. They scored. They stopped them. I think at halftime, I think it was 34-6 or 28 to
Hmm.
6. Uh, Party
Yeah.
Crashers did not look like how they looked all year. It was bad.
So,
Raw Dogs were pretty much able to do whatever they wanted. They took
yeah.
advantage of Fred Dupree. I do want to say that they didn't have the roster. Party Crashers didn't have that full roster they usually have. They're missing a
I think
few
Jean
key
Lee Alexi
players.
wasn't there. Yeah,
They're
Jean Lee
miss.
wasn't there.
Sorry,
Jean Lee's usually on the team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Jean who?
Jean Lee.
Oh, no, he plays on
Oh, Montreal
Montreal
Magic.
Magic.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
they're missing a few guys that they could have had. They went in this game kind of light,
Yeah.
and it kind of showed as well. But the fact to lose 45-6 is kind of insane. So again, sometimes the Party Crashers, again, it's a team where it's a hit and miss, and this was a huge miss.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at it right here, man. They were missing Emerson Peterkin. I don't believe was there.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of. Their problem is a lot of their guys
Next
play
one, Tito.
tackle.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
yeah, and
That's
we're
true.
in
That's
they're in
true.
they're in camp right
In
now.
training camp and
So,
yeah, yeah. Most of the training camps are kicked off already. Yeah, well, that's it, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? Listen, Fred Dupuis. Uh, I think he's a good dude. I've talked to him a couple times, not that many times. But I talked to him a couple times. He seems to be a good dude. Every time I've had an interaction with him, from getting lineups and all that stuff, I know some people think he's a little overrated. Just four INTs, like it's not going to cut it. And he's the first one. He knows that, right? He's
yeah,
not oblivious to that, right? 115 yards, one touchdown pass, and four INTs, right? And it is what it is. It's not going to get it done. You're down 45-6 at the half, and you don't score at all in the second. Looking at the other side, also Daniel Mancini, obviously usual receiver, 3 for 3, 40 yards, touchdown. Ben McMahon, 4 for 5, 86 yards, three TDs. Jordan Panetta, I'm not sure where this was in the Scientific's game, but 19 of 18 for 140 yards, three TDs, right? Having
yeah,
that Jordan Panetta, usual Jordan Panetta performance, right? And you have three guys throwing seven touchdown passes, and you're only throwing one, and you have four picks to go with it. You're
yeah.
not going to beat anybody.
No, for sure. I forgot. I score kept. Yeah, I score kept this game. And yeah, Fred, he got into the red zone through a pick. Got into the red zone through a pick. Bad pick in the
Yeah.
middle of the field. He wasn't himself. And with Fred, when he throws a few couple picks, it gets in his
Gets in
head,
his
and
head.
then
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and there's
Exactly.
no coming back from that. So unfortunately, they
100%.
lose 45-6. Raw Dogs go to the next round, and then the last. Then we
What
have
happened to you guys? Well, okay, yeah,
yeah.
go on.
So we played the Braves, and it was, to be honest,
Yeah.
we played a pretty good game. Um, we scored on the first play of the game to Marvin. Fell
Uh,
through a 45-yard bomb.
yeah.
They kind of shot his zone. They didn't have anyone on top. Threw a bomb. Things were going good. Braves got back the ball. They ended up scoring on a couple plays. They went for two. They got the point. Then we went on offense. We scored. Then they went on offense. They scored. No, I think we stopped. No, they scored. They went for two. Then it was 16-12. They ended up stopping us. They got the ball back. Going all they got the ball back with like 2 minutes left. We ended up
Yeah.
stopping them. Going into halftime, we're down by four. It was 16-12 for them. Second half, we kind of talked to we kind of knew what we had to do, and we ended up stopping them the first drive, them getting the ball back. So they got the ball back, we stopped them, we got the ball, we scored, they got
Yeah.
back the ball, they ended up scoring, then we scored, and then it was 24-22. I want to say 24-22. We were up,
Sorry.
and it came to a point where Converse just killed us. Um,
Right.
you can see on the stat line, they got 8 points in converts and we got zero.
Well,
So
there you
we
go.
end up
Yeah.
losing.
He ended up losing by 8 points. Yeah, so you guys could pick up where Quayse's left off. His team lost by 8 points, and the fact that they got zero conversions, right? That's huge. It's hard to win when you don't get conversions, right? And that's the case right there, right? Again, it took props to the main man himself, James Drysdale, obviously of Team Canada, and of this version of the Braves. I think all the versions of the Braves. 6 receptions on 6 targets for 121 yards, but I mean 2 touchdowns. He was joined in the end zone by Gabe Dab Champagne, touchdown for him. Mike Pearson, of course, veteran Hall of Famer, touchdown for him. So Marvin, Quaysie talked about before, he got a 45-yard touchdown to start the game. He added another TD. Jalen Greaves, 2 TDs as well. Quaysie, 3 catches for 34 yards for his squad. He had 2 tackles in the game. Ethan Adrian, one of the top rushers in FPF, he had 2 sacks, and Drysdale actually picked up a sack as well. He's an occasional rusher here and there, more so on the Braves when Phil Ferron doesn't line up at rusher. Uh, Congrats to them. 32-24 win for the Braves over KGP.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to what I was saying, it was converts. Converts was a huge thing that we didn't get.
All right. Well, that's fair enough. That's a big part of the game, right? It's a big part of the game that unfortunately goes overlooked sometimes. But like you said, you guys lost by 8, and Conference, I guess, had a big part in that. Um, and looking at the last matchup here, so another close game. It's the thing, most of these games are all close, except for
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, this game wasn't as close as it was. It was at one point I think it was
Oh, okay.
26-6.
Okay. Well, just to put context, yeah, you're talking about yeah. So the Montreal Magic against ECW. Yeah. So I'm looking at halftime. Yeah, it was 20-8 for Montreal Magic in this game. Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they kind of. I think. Yeah, I think that they Montreal Magic got back the ball. It was 26-8, and then they kind of well, how do you say it? They took the gas off. They kind of
Yeah,
let
took off the gas. Yeah.
yeah, they
Okay.
took off the gas. They kind of let ECW score.
Right.
Then I think Jean Steve threw a really bad pick. ECW scored again, and then they made it in between a good close game. And then Montreal's Magic scored, and then ECW scored, and they scored, and then they got a convert. That's why it's closer than it looks. But this game was
Okay.
at least
Okay.
a double-digit score game.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Looking at some of the numbers here, Nick Ropini, 2 TDs for his team, led the way of 84 yards. AJ, 2 TDs. Jesse Dupuis, touchdown. Felix Boutier, of course, touchdown. Etienne Laurent Gervais, good player actually. Alex Barros as well, a TD each. Theo Cle. So Theo Cleach, I don't know if you've seen this guy yet, Quizzy. He's a baller. He usually plays the lower divisions. He is playing on I think a ton of different teams. He's making a joke with me a few weeks ago. I think he's subbing on like 5 different teams this year. He's a one-time All-Star. So he plays at ECW, but he also
Yeah,
played.
I saw him play on
Yeah,
Cast of 12 actually.
yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. Cast at 12. Beer Belly Brigade, he's played some games. He's played with the Mofos. I've scored kept a ton of his games. This kid is good. This kid is like right now he's a 69 on offense and a 66 on defense. Like I said, he's already a former all-star. This kid is just gonna get better and better. He has speed, he has size, he has good hands. You can put him anywhere on defense, anywhere on offense. He'll make a play for you. He had a touchdown in the game. Nathan Desjardins and 2 TDs. Yeah, but so totally separate from this. I just want to say congrats to AJ. He broke the news to me and Leo and a couple other cats. He's actually going to be a dad.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
as well. There you go. There you go. Shout out to Christina. I've known AJ and Christina for a long time, so shout out to the both of them. I work with me and Christina work for the same employer, so great people. Congrats to them. Little AJ running around. He's saying already he hopes if it's his son, I mean even if it's a girl, he hopes that his kid will be a wide receiver like him. So
Yeah.
definitely
Um,
the genes are strong.
yeah, for sure. Kind of going with because I know the podcast is getting pretty long. Something to kind of look at 4-5v5 competitive for the matchups for next week. We actually get to see Montreal Magic versus Braves for the semifinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we
And
can
yeah,
yeah
you were
we're
there.
gonna
We were both there last time in Laval. There's a lot of trash talking back
yeah
and forth,
yeah
and
a lot
yeah,
of
that should be
talking.
good.
So
That'll be good.
usually that's a final matchup, but we're gonna see
Yeah,
a semifinal matchup. So that should
yeah,
be a if you guys have nothing to do on, I think it's Tuesday. I think it's this Tuesday or next. I think it's next Tuesday, not the one coming up. I think it's the 19th. They're gonna play. If you have nothing to do and you guys want to see two powerhouse teams go at it, it's definitely gonna be something to see.
yeah. Looking at it right here, it is yeah. So I believe right next Tuesday. The schedule's not up now, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right next
Tuesday in
Tuesday.
Brossard.
Oh, no, I'll be there. Hopefully, I'll be scorekeeping that game. Either me or you will be scorekeeping that, so
Mm.
should be good. Yeah. All right. I think that pretty much does it. Playoffs are here. First round's gone for some divisions. First round's about to start for some others. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is what we sign up for. This is what we play as part of the media team. This is what we love to cover. Regular season's great, but playoffs are even better. It's football time, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah. This is a lot of us that a lot of people wait for this, right? It's something that's it's like
Yeah,
you're looking forward for it. You want your teams to make playoffs, and you want to go to the finals. You want to go to the you want to go to the show. We call it. You want to go to the show, and you want to win a championship. To be in like the championship for a lot of these teams.
yeah, definitely. Sorry, cutting off a bit there, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, to be in the championship, it's the ultimate, right? This is really the main reason why people join. Yes, it's fun to hang out, play with your friends, and have some beers and whatnot, and make new friends even. But you play to win the championship, so it is what it is. I'm glad to be back. I just want to thank Ali Reza and Quaysie for holding things down last week while I was in Jamaica. Yeah, so so Quaysie is gone. Internet connection is not great, but anyways, I'm happy that you guys were able to hold things down last week. Happy to be back. I missed you guys. Jamaica was awesome. If you haven't been, please go. Do yourself a favor. Beaches, beautiful people, beautiful weather. It's beautiful food. Yeah, yeah. I drank and ate my share of what I paid for the all inclusive. It was worth it. Yeah, and the people that talk about it was too hot down there, and it's not Montreal hot. Montreal hot is all dry and whatnot. The heat down there, there's always a breeze. It's great. You're hot, but you're not like dying like you are over here, where it's just like, my God, I don't feel like leaving the house. This is different down there. Get to see a lot of cool things. Got to see Bob Marley's resting place. So shout out to Bob Marley, obviously. And do yourself a favor, go on vacation.
Oh, okay, I can't
Uh,
hear him, but I'll put up
yeah.
the peace sign.
I don't know if you can hear it. Anyways, all right. So I don't know if you can hear Quaysie, but I'm gonna wrap it up. So for Quaysie, go to Maule. I'm Brent Bodkin, and for Ali Reza, our producer, thank you for everything you do. We'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Flat Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. Peace.